Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Hello everyone. Sorry for being a little late. I'm at another location right now. Is this thing on? What is this? Everyone, it's me, Toast. I'm at the Team Liquid compound. We're here filming more episodes of two people talking.
What up, gamers? It's Valorant time. Welcome to day 2 of week 2 of Split 1 of Knights Arena Valorant Challengers North America. I'm finding new ways to say that every single day, and I promise I will try to keep it as original as I possibly can. Yesterday, we did see a couple of matches. Teams that weren't expected to lose ended up finding a loss. But before we dig into any of that, I want to remind you guys at home, we've got this thing. It's called the Fan Zone. If you haven't joined it yet, I advise that you do. You can head on over to pks.gg/discord. If you've watched any of the post-game interviews, we always ask
trying to get audio working. I know it's working for you
guys.
guys. It's not working for me.
If you want to ask a question to one of the many players playing currently in Challengers, head on over to pks.gg/discord, and you can potentially see your question on air. But let's bring in our casters for today. I said it, I feel like a babysitter because I have the young bloods and Sully and Upmind. It's going to be an interesting week. We have 2 more matches set up today. But just looking at yesterday, we were talking about it on the desk. Sully, we saw teams lose that we didn't expect to see lose, like Shopify Rebellion, that now really throws a spanner in the works for Group A.
Nah, still can't hear anything.
All right, let's send that one over to Upmind because apparently Sully's muted. These young bloods just can't figure out audio. Does someone who has a production background want to help these guys out?
Yeah, I had to refresh while you were talking too, so I feel the pain.
Do you guys hear audio?
For the rest of this season,
So
and
you guys
they've already
hear
lost.
it,
And there's a lot of weird schedules coming up, especially in this group where a lot of the teams have M80 followed by the guard. But I think going into the rest of the tournament period, just from yesterday's results, we can kind of think that the invited teams are just a bit mortal.
Let's take a look at the standings. You guys can see how things broke down yesterday, just in case you didn't watch, because what effectively happened is Oxford's pull off a big upset and taking down Shopify Rebellion. Now, obviously, the way it's sorted right now, it's a little bit interesting. We're still waiting on clarification, but I believe Oxygen is technically the 3 seed, because even though round differential puts them below Shopify,
note this
they
down
beat
for
Shopify.
when I create my
they have the
DSG
head-to-head.
compound.
So Oxygen Esports actually becomes the number 3. Here's why this is so important. This group is one big coin toss. G2 is the only team that comes in with major hype besides Shopify. Shopify came in as a team that people were saying the same things last year as they are this year. Pretty good team, inconsistent in their results. Yesterday, pretty much continues that. We see that Shopify is still struggling to find that level of consistency that we hope we can see them find, because they do have some serious talent on that roster. Because of that, now the remaining 2 through 4
game.
spots.
I think this is probably the most
Pretty much
important
anyone.
game
This could go in any direction.
of the season.
There is a world
because
Breakthrough and Turtle and Oxygen Esports all qualify. Rebellion
it's gonna be the battle
FaZe
for
both
fourth
get
place.
knocked out. There's even a world where G2
Like the guard
isn't even in the place that they're in
TSM,
because we
so
still
far
don't really
hit
know what to
everyone
expect from this team. We've
that
only
the
seen them
battle
play
is gonna be
one match. So Group
against
A did
Mad
get a
Lions
little
to see
spicy
who can
yesterday.
come
Group
forth and
B,
make it to playoffs.
things went a little bit
MSI.
more the direction you would expect.
So big,
as we saw
big
the guard
today.
things, guard just proving
Big
that
game.
if you want to be the best team, you have to be the best team every single week. Does not matter who you're playing. You got to put on a show and a performance, and that's exactly what they did, Gus. They've got now a very healthy round differential at plus 31 and a 2-0 record to boot.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the season should be pretty much the same for the guard. I mean, it's what we expected out of their group. We're still very much looking forward to the big game against M80 and potentially their game against TSM next week. But for the rest of this group, we just have to focus on the fact that OR Esports, they've gotten the two biggest games in their schedule out of the way. The Guard and M80 are gone. Now they just face up against TSM, Mad Lions, and Disguised. Three teams that are a little bit more near their level, and they already showed some pretty good progress against M80. Of course, just beating them out on a map. You could say that about pretty much any of the other three teams outside of the Garden M80. There are some decent chances for them to get some maps back, but it's going to be pretty for the third and fourth spots.
Now we can also take a look at the schedule for today, see what matches we're going to feature on air. We have obviously today and tomorrow for the rest of this week. But we're going to be seeing one of the teams you were just talking about later today. We're talking about M80. That's a team who, in their opening series, probably could have.
Yeah, I
done
watched the Guard versus OR Esports yesterday, and it was an absolute slaughter.
Pretty rough fashion. Guard looked just absolutely dominant. So M80 really needs to solidify their position as the number 2 team with a win today over TSM. And I don't think that that's necessarily guaranteed. But let's look further forward. And Sully, looking at that first series, we've got Disguise versus Mad Lions. And I do feel like when you look at this match, Disguise versus Mad Lions, it could go either direction.
Yeah,
it really could.
It's honestly really hard to tell.
This is a battle. This is like probably the most even matchup in our group.
Teams, right? You lose this game, you go 0-2, and then you're kind of in a really tricky position for the rest of this challenger split. We're hovering around that 6th, 5th spot, and you're fighting for that 4th place spot. So it's a really important game. And one thing that I'm curious to see is, okay, Disguise, what changes have you made? Mad Lions, you were extremely close in that game against TSM. You know, a handful of rounds go the other way, and that could have been a 2-0 series, or at least a 2-1 series in the favor of the Mad Lions.
Minor logo diff going on here.
A lot of promise. A lot of people know Disguise, and especially that core, that X-Night core from last year, and what they can do. And a lot of people, I think,
audio's a little weird. Yeah, that's the mainstream. I think if you're watching the mainstream on your own, you'll also see the same issue.
They should straight up qualify with 2-0 map record throughout the whole qualifier.
I know the night streams have been having difficulties all
day.
day.
Against TSM, they look pretty good.
They did. I mean, last week we
yesterday
did
they
finally
had
get
a
that
lot
map
of lag
from Mad Lions that we were just waiting from the open qualifiers. When are we finally going to get Trick on, really on his ish in terms of IGLing? When are we going to get the full Mad Lions team actually being able to pop off, especially some players that we didn't see good statistically in terms of Ange and Drone? And a lot of those questions were answered just in that one game. Of course, they did end up losing, but every map going the distance, they put up double digits on the 2 maps that they lost to TSM. So going into this week, Mad Lions, it's a lot more possible of a test for them. Last week, they faced a signed team. This week, they face a team that only brought together a month ago. If there's ever a chance for Mad Lions to get a good win, it's here.
Yeah, and I think for Mad Lions, Disguise is on like the exact same level as them. Like, to be honest, they both qualified through the first open qualifier. I think they both have a lot of experience, and one of the things that I remember Zextra telling us in their open qualifier run in that interview was that they brought on Will, who brings in a plethora of knowledge. He has changed the dynamic of Mad Lions. It really gives kind of a new level to them. So that was really exciting to see when they played against TSM.
One enemy remaining.
This Mad Lions roster was so incredibly close to potentially finding a first win. It seemed like they potentially had it in them to take the win in the first week. And based on the matchups that they had, I did feel like, hey, Mad start out the season really strong. I just want to look and see, like, next week, they're playing against M80. The week after that,
oh god, nervous. Most important game. This is the battle for 4th place, and like, if you win here, you kind of like put the other team down, 0-2, and you'll have the head-to-head matchup as well. So, yeah, out of the entire season, this one's the most important one, because I would say Mad Lions are the main competition for 4th place.
is shaping up, guys.
Like TSM
Still
guard
a chance that they
M80, they kind of have a
even with
1,
just,
2,
like,
and
2 wins,
3
there's a world where that happens
lockdown.
because of the fact that this is just kind of an interesting
So,
group. You definitely have your
Yep.
top 2, but the bottom 2,
This is the big one.
I feel like it's anyone's game.
It really is. Again, just with the fact that you still have TSM in this group, I feel like TSM with their dub last week over Mad Lions, I feel like their games Disguise and OR Esports are going to be at around the same
But
level that they faced with Mad Lions.
look,
so we already have
when I was
pretty much
entering
a top
VCT,
three
it was
in this
picking
group
up either
settled. But what's going to be that
DSG
difference? Who is
or
going to be
picking
that
up
difference
the
for
Mad
Lions
Lions
going
team,
forward?
Dark
And from
Ratio.
what we're seeing from Mad Lions, it
It
has
really
to
could have
be
gone
the
either
one
way.
and only the one map that they ended up winning, I think they ended up taking it 13-4, 13-5 over TSM.
And if Mad Lions
13-2,
win,
it was
it's gonna be
way
like,
worse than
damn.
that. Excuse
So
me.
should you have
And
just
then-
picked up Mad Lions
then,
team
of
instead?
course, after that, you could kind of see a bit of a fall off.
But I
Maybe it comes
believe-
down to the rules. Maybe
I
it comes down to the
believe
fact
going
that
with
Will
DSG was the right one.
rushing it down Icebox. This Mad Lions team, they can definitely rely on Will, who has a lot of tier 1 experience.
No, yeah, it's just to give context to these statistics, it's Will when he wins from last week, which was the one map they won against TSM going 13-2. He popped off, and one thing that we know from the open qualifier run, and just a guy that played at Champions, by the way, he is so critical to this team of Mad Lions because he's one of
This
the
is the
top
team.
fraggers. He's also one of the
Yeah,
players that
believe.
really gets the team going. They kind of play around a lot of his rifling when he's playing on the raids, which he's been playing a lot more frequently. And so now we're looking at those stats from that Icebox match. But then you go to the second and third map, and his stats just took the hardest downfall of all. Granted, the 80 yard does increase a little bit, but there's sample size to that. And he's still, he's still doing his damage as the Rays, getting damage with his util. But it's just, I think that if Will had stepped up in the level that we know he can, that TSM game, we could have been looking at Mad Lions sitting 1-0 right now. I mean, because if Will steps up just a smidge more, those games were 10-13. Couple rounds, you've got it. Mad Lions are 1-0 right now.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm looking at too is just the it's not on this graphic, but it's the duels that he was taking early in the round. If you look at the last 2 maps, I mean, it was particularly rough. He was 1-4 on Bind for first kills, first deaths as the Rays. And then looking over at the last map of Ascent, he was 0-1 as Jet. Actually, excuse me, 2-5 as Jet. So, like, obviously, that is a pretty...
Yeah. Originally I wasn't gonna stream today because I have a shoot with TL.
12 rounds and you win only 3 of them. That's not what you expect from a player
But
that
they
goes the last
graciously
two
allowed
games
me
they had.
to
And then on the opposite side, you've got
borrow
a young
their
who's
setup
thirsty
from
for
their
the opportunity
facility.
to prove himself in this server. We're
So
speaking
big
of
thank you
Clear.
to
Looking at this
Team
Disguised
Liquid.
roster, this is probably the player that comes in with
I'm
probably
glad
the
that Team
most
Liquid's
under the radar.
Valorant
A
teams
lot
in
of people
EU,
don't
so
know
there's
his
no
name. He's coming up from the
competition
tier 2
there.
scene. I think Will
like, oh,
obviously has a tremendous
it's DSG
pedigree. A lot
versus
of
Team
people know what
Liquid.
he did with, like teams like 100 Thieves. So I think a lot of people are looking at Will like, oh, this should be easy. But Sully, I gotta be honest, I really was impressed with what we saw from Clear in week 1. Even though
Will's
it
a
was win
scary
for DSG,
player.
I saw promise from a young player.
Well, I mean, he's been to the
His open
highest
qualifier
level of
run
competition,
last
right?
week. One player that I kind of draw a lot of comparisons to, or maybe not comparisons directly, but he's kind of someone like Trent, right? Trent was this really, really unknown quality. I can't remember what his name was before, but he got randomly scouted.
We definitely thought
He was
about
playing
picking up
among
Will
the
as
best
well,
teams in Challengers.
but
Not
I don't
saying
think
that
we were
Clear is
able
going
to
be the next Trent, but at least he's a player that
afford him
flies very much under the radar.
because you know
And
he was
every
just
game
on
he's
100
playing
Thieves, right?
extremely well. How Trent was last year during
But,
the World Cup.
we
He
tried
really
him out.
rise. Clear is one of those guys that I feel
He
no matter
was
what
really
team,
good.
especially on a team that has so much experience. His kind of flashiness and under some amazing leadership as well, he's going to be a really key player. And so in this head-to-head, we're looking at can Clear punch up to level and play as consistent? This is a guy that can compete against no matter what. He did it relatively
Was
well
I watching
last
entire?
year against
Unfortunately,
Clear.
I
Now we wanna
don't
see
have
how
audio
does that
set up
flow
on
rate to
this
what changes have been made to get him in better position
setup,
and to make sure that you have a guy
so I
that
can't
knows what's
hear,
popping off.
which
One of
would
the things we
make
wanna talk about
a
too,
watch partying with
looking
Tarek
at
really
Disguised.
awkward. Says he would say
Historically
some
speaking,
cringe joke and I wouldn't respond.
Things that steals is refines talent. One of the things that Ocean historically does is finds it. Ocean was never necessarily known for being the person that caused the talent to shine. He was more like, I found this young diamond in the rough.
Ooh,
Steele's the
okay.
one that's, like, been
Look,
known for
also,
being
I would just want to say,
diamond in the
Clear's
rough.
jet knives were
So
bugged
you
in the
have
last match.
potential in this young player
Like,
to take him from
it
being
was just broken.
quote
I'm just gonna
no
say it.
one,
That
because
was a
really,
bug.
like, he's not a player that comes in
And
with
Riot
much of a
was
reputation.
actively
People don't really
sabotaging.
pay attention to the tier 2, tier 3 scene. and become a big name in Valorant esports. And you can see it with this quote right here. So me and Ocean were cut from the same cloth. We approached the game the
I only
same
have
way.
2
I
hours
agree,
streams.
like,
I gotta leave
it
at 3 to
seems
do
like on paper,
my shoot.
this should
So
create
if we don't
an
put this
incredible
game
team
away in two
specifically
two
around
games,
this young player.
I'm gonna miss
Yeah,
the
I think
ending.
ideologically for this team, everyone should be very similar on the same page.
So
There's
best
an
case
article
scenario,
that
we'll just
posted
13-0 them like
Steel,
back
one
to
thing he
back.
said is, I love this team because we're all
And
so
then that won't be
we
an
all
issue.
understand what we want to do, and when there's a mistake, we all come in together.
Just-
We
just
all
quick-
talk about it.
quick
So I feel like
13 and
the
0.
ideology for this team is going to be extremely similar. A lot of people are going to be on the same page, and for someone like Clear,
I'm at the
obviously,
Team
he's
Liquid
adapt to this
facility.
kind of
We're doing
style, and we don't
another
exactly
shoot.
know how
Out
he, like,
2 people
the game
talking
will do
shoot.
something. But I do
We're
think
filming
that
a few
for
more
this
episodes
team,
of that.
it's kind of hard to see that between coach and IGL, there's not going to be strong chemistry. Between the coach and the core 3 from that X Knights roster, there's not going to be strong chemistry.
No, and listen, Steel, he knew the type of challenge that he was facing with this team. Again, it's a fresher roster to even begin with. Steel last week, he just wasn't impressed with how they did. I mean, he talked a lot about his disappointment on a podcast. He said that it was a, quote, breakdown of game plan. A lot of moments of hesitation from DSG and moments where they just needed a fast decision and to commit to it. Steel, at this point, he needs to enact that ideology that you're talking about, Sully. He just tried to grind these players down, to really put them on the leash that they want to, I mean, essentially not make the mistakes that we were seeing last week. Individually, it looked like Steel was the one getting picked off, but in reality, Steel was making calls and the rest of the team weren't going behind him.
All right, I'm gonna give a little baking analogy because I got really into baking and cooking. Making stromboli. Stromboli is like one of my favorite things to make. If you cut into it, the second it comes out of the oven, it's gonna fall apart.
Where's the DSG emote? They removed it because
for the ingredients to
you're
gel
not
together
allowed to
so that you
have
can actually
letter-based
eat it. And
emotes.
why I'm saying that is this team could be good, but it needs time gel together. The stuff you're talking about, small decisions, mistakes that are made in the moment, little miscommunications, all of that takes time for you to get accustomed to how players play and how just players communicate. That's even more important because sometimes teams, you know, you have these great players and they come together, but everyone has a different approach to how they talk in game, how they play in game. And just like you learn how your opponents approach the game and you learn patterns and behaviors,
Oh,
you
man,
learn
I'm
that
getting
with your own
nervous
teammates.
again.
And that's one of the things
Oh,
that the guard is
God.
basically saying makes them so good. It's like, hey, we know how everyone plays. We're very familiar with each other. So there are times when we just do our job. Like it becomes muscle memory to that extent.
I
I
also
do think that this team could be that good. Just it's going to take a bit.
No, I also think given that statement, like, as much as you want to say the chemistry there, like, this should be a team that I have to say you expected a lot more from last week, right? They played good, but let's be honest, the map scores weren't as close as they could be, right? You say that, yeah, give it time, Stromboli, whatever. I forget the analogy. I already forgot it, but this is a team
Clearly
that has
not a
three
baker.
core members, right? 3 core members from an old roster. Not only that, but they're also led by Ocean, their ex-coach. So there should, in my opinion, be a lot of chemistry already formulated. Maybe it doesn't instantly click with the likes of Steel, but the way that Steel talks about this team, it feels like the chemistry should already be there. And so that's where my concern is that maybe it's not the chemistry, maybe it's the fact that they played against one of the best teams last week. I don't know what's going on with this team, but I also do think that given what we know from this team, these players, how Steel works, the fact that he said that, oh man, Ocean is a great coach, we think the exact same way, the chemistry should, in my opinion, already be there. Not maybe at the level of the guard, but definitely a lot more above maybe a team like Dark Ratio, who as well have a very similar stature with 4 players in this really strong core.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the maps, see where the series is going to be heading. I think if you're smart, Disguised should ban Icebox. Again, reminder, that was the 13-2 victory map they took over TSM last week.
We hate Icebox.
So in Fashion, Disguised comes out and decides to ban Icebox. Getting that off the table, definitely not going to hurt them at all. And they did float it last week, so it's not like this is their perma. This is a map they feel comfortable playing. Whereas Mad Lions comes in and bans Haven, which is to be expected. That's the map they banned last week as well, Gus.
Yeah, and Pearl's already a pretty good for Disguised. I mean, it's the fact that we didn't see Pearl last week is actually a bit of a travesty because coming in from the open qualifiers, we saw 3 games of Pearl from this team and they only dropped 9 combined rounds on this map. So already DSG, they've already established themselves a little bit on this map, on both sides of the map, by the way, on both attack and defense. So there's not too many going on there. If anything, of course, we're looking over to Ascent. What happened last week? What were the breakdowns in communication that ended up leaving that as a wash from the guard over Disguise? Because because from what I know from Mad Lions, Ascent is it's a map. It's not exactly that consistent, especially against like the tier 2 teams, but it's at least one that they're competent on.
What's interesting is this is actually a pretty decent map for both teams. Should it go all 3 maps? I actually do look at that last map as potentially one that could be close. I'm not necessarily liking the Fracture pick for Disguise. I think that is going to be potentially problematic, but I guess you could say the same for Dark Ratio with Pearl. I think a lot of this is like, hey, you know, what can we expect from these teams? We haven't seen a whole lot of them play. The sample size, again, is definitely significantly smaller than it is for some of the other teams like the Guard, for instance, or even
Remember, guys, I have to leave in
Shopify Rebellion. But
an hour and 45
what we did
minutes.
see was
So ideally, we put this away 13-0, 13-0 real quick. So we're not going to miss anything.
I feel like we're going the distance. I don't feel like it's going to be blowout maps either. I feel like it's going to be close. We might even get multiple overtimes in this series, Sully.
Oh, I'm hoping for it, man. I expect a lot from both of these two teams.
There's a quick
especially when a match
26-0.
of this caliber and has this much weight. Again,
That will make everyone happy here.
And that is just an extremely tough prospect to face. Like, to have to go 0-2, have a 2-week break, by the way. After this week, there's a 2-week break until we have matches again. You need to buckle down from that 0-2 situation, really grind out all the issues you have, and come back and win your next 3 games. Even have a chance at playoffs, by the way. You don't want things to come down where you're in a 2-3 situation and you're just praying 2 other teams are in a 2-3 situation. There's a lot on the line for these 2 teams. So I'm expecting from a team like Disguise, from a team like Mad Lions, when they have, again, for Mad Lions, that 4-player chemistry, you just bring in Will, brings in a plethora of ideas. For Disguise, you've got 3 core players from that X-Knights roster. Coach and Ocean and the chemistry with Steel, both these teams should really have worked out all the issues. And I think, Gus, like you were saying with that Ascent issue, hopefully we don't see those, because Disguise and Mad Lions, there's so much to play for here. So
much. Again, you mentioned the tough schedule, but it's the bulk of it. In the next 2 weeks is M80 followed by the Guard, and essentially with this group, unless you're getting a win over M80 or the Guard, you're essentially looking at what is a best of 3 between 3 other teams, or excuse me, a best of 2 between the other teams in your group. So it's just a little difficult to even say, if you can't beat one of the unsigned teams in your group, if you can't beat Disguise or you can't beat OR Esports, then there is just no way by the end of the season or by the end of the split that you're going to get in that 4th spot.
There is definitely significant pressure on Mad Lions here because, again, they're going into it like the thickest part of the schedule is Guard and 80. We've been talking about that since the season started. We've been talking about that all group stage. The fact that these 2 teams ended up in the same group is so much tragic for everybody else.
How big is Mad Lions? Are they also another billionaire org?
Disguise already played Guard. So, like, in a world where Disguise finds a win here, they're in a really good position, whereas Mad Lions is now down 0-2.
Also, I'm still sick. I don't know
brutal matches against M80
how long
Guard.
COVID lasts, but it's been like 3 weeks and I'm still sick.
Right off the rip, that's brutal. Now, it's not to say
I thought COVID's supposed to just last for like a week.
Even though we'll see them later today, I was not super impressed with M80.
They're owned by Real Madrid.
Consistencies there, pretty much similar
Is
to what
Real
we've seen from some of
Madrid
the other
big?
teams, like I was saying before.
What's
like
Real
teams
Madrid?
Take time to mesh. Yeah, they have all these players that come together and they're great, but you know, it's certainly a pressure situation for Mad Lions, but I'm told that the agent select is ready, so we are just about ready to jump into our first map in the series. I'll give it to the Youngbloods. Take it away, and I will see you guys on the other side of this first map.
Well, y'all heard it there from Mark.
Oh God, it's starting. Fracture.
Specifically,
Oh
if you
God.
have to go
Wait,
against
what
an
we
M80
playing?
Guard back
What we
to
playing?
back. We already saw OR Esports.
We got Ziff
and what they
on the
had to do
Cypher,
when they
no
went against
Killjoy.
M80 first, and then the Guard just
Double
yesterday, they
raised
got
duelist.
wiped against the Guard. We were expecting a lot more.
KO, Brim, Breach. Okay, so the only difference is the Sentinels.
It's not a map that
Okay,
Disguise have ever
I
won.
believe
Granted, they've
I'm a
only
Cypher
played
main,
it
and it's a
twice.
sign
I
from
think this
God.
may be a map that hopefully they've had time to really refine. Remember, there was at least 2 weeks in between that first open qualifier to now. So hopefully this is Disguise lineup. They've made the necessary changes and they're ready to come into this map.
Yeah, but listen, they almost never played Fracture, and they were banning it last week. they are now
Yeah, we
going
lost
back to
on
banning
Fracture
Icebox
once
instead,
in one
and
of
now
our
they have to play Fracture
non-streamed
for only
games.
their third time as a team. They won't. I mean, silly. They weren't even able to get more than 12 combined rounds in their 2 games of Fracture that they lost, and they lost to Squirtle Squad 13-4. I mean, it just isn't a lot of hope to even begin with here for Disguise.
How did they know
but
we were
again,
weak on Fracture?
neither one of
We
these
told
teams have a
them.
comprehensive history on this map. So, like Bach said, I mean, we might as well see it even considering how up in the air it is.
I do think Mad Lions maybe have the much deeper history when it comes to this map. I think one of the most notable things is they took out the Nation on Fracture, and for a lot of people watching, the Nation was the Sui 2K roster, and they were formidable on Fracture. They hadn't dropped a single Fracture game. Not many teams had gotten above 5 rounds on the Nation before the matchup against Mad Lions,
we're attacking
they were
first.
formerly during that time Dark Ratio. So this is a strong map for Mad Lions. It's not the best of maps for Disguise. I think starting on the attack, knowing the calling structure of Seal, this one is going to be exciting.
Okay, we
it's gonna
have
start slow,
3
it's gonna get
pushing
heavy,
dish.
it's gonna get weird. And here
3
we are in
pushing
the
dish
missile round.
and 2 pushing main.
Already starts.
All right, clear. Come on.
Quite
Come
a
on,
bit of a
man.
hold
Keep
back
my
over
dreams
towards
alive,
A. This
baby.
could put quite the dent in this attack for Disguise. You see 2 players playing the lurk right now.
Jump in there.
Will take a lot of space here. They're gonna try for an A lobby.
We see Will.
front
We see
This
Will.
crunch.
Shoot him. Shoot
It's
him.
gonna
Shoot
work out
him.
perfectly. Will is all the way out in the open.
Nice.
Same thing
Now
with
shoot the
Drone.
other one.
Two players,
Oh,
they're just
God.
taking
Okay,
their
one's pretty good.
sweet,
One's pretty
sweet
good.
time waiting for the 3 players
Nice.
to push out.
Jumping
Instead,
shot.
Zip, Gangsta both getting fragged, but it's only Ainge. Ainge with a crossfire. He gets 2 headshots.
All right,
Might he get a
Gangsta.
3rd kill?
This is it.
I mean, he's
You
just
pop
waiting
one
for the
head.
cross, but he has the
All
spike.
right,
This is
Gangsta, please.
beautiful from Ainge.
Gangsta on just 10 HP. He will have a fault line in at least 10 seconds, so there's a
right,
realm of
Gangsta.
possibility. where
One
he could
headshot.
maybe
Easy.
stun both these players. I mean, they're both kind of in line in front of this spike. He does have the opportunity to grab it as well, but I think a periodic checking here from Ainge is going to make things extremely difficult. Gangsta has 35 seconds left, so there is time for him to rotate it if he did want to. I don't know if the sound cue was picked
30
up there, but I
seconds left.
imagine they're just going to play together here, Mad Lions.
Yeah, it's just a contact here from the KJ. They have a turret here too. Again, 10
Get the
HP.
plan, get the plan,
you can
money.
play this as slow as you want, Mad Lions. It's just 1 bullet to the body. Just need the contact, but Gangsta, he's doing his best to isolate. That's all he wants right now. He wants a couple headshots. He wants the lucky pixel. It almost
God.
finds
How-
Ainge, but
how-
Ainge
how do
instead
we let
finds
this
him
guy
instead
get 4
through
kills?
the wall with a headshot.
It's
4
over.
huge
It's over.
kills from Ainge to give Mad Lions the first.
It's a
NT,
great
NT.
start for
We
Mad
come
Lions.
back.
I mean, this is your map pick. Get the ball rolling.
Staying
kind
in
of
force meta.
Feel out this map. Because again, both these
It's a
teams
quick
most
13 and
likely
1.
have made changes coming into this week. Not maybe compositionally as we're seeing, but definitely probably when it comes to refining the really small issues. We're going to see a lot of things, I'd imagine, get kind of fixed up. Specifically speaking of that Disguise lineup where you were talking about it earlier, a lot of minuscule mistakes on that map.
Look, we got 3 stingers, baby.
Are we going to see any of those here? Because, again, emphasis on this series is that you lose, you're 0-2. We're going to keep reiterating that statement. So there's a lot to play for not just these players and this week, but just for the whole split in general. And we're talking as well further into 2023, where you're looking at circuit points and whatnot. So a lot at stake for
There's
these
a lot at-
teams.
oh,
and between
right.
2
Let me
teams,
message
that I
them
think
off.
are some of the best right now in terms of the open qualifier lineup.
Absolutely. Here we go, actually, in the middle of A. It's just going to be Clear doing his own thing.
Nice. Gangsta with the
Oh
stinger.
my
It's a
goodness
stinger meta,
gracious.
baby.
It was Gangsta coming up from behind, but you had the good pinch. That's going to be the stuff that we were actually quite anticipating from Mad Lions last week, but we didn't exactly
Oh, we
see
got the
Clear get let
post-plant
off that
lineups.
leash. If anything, Disguised, they were all playing up quite up as a team. If anything, it was Steel being the entry, which was quite the difference. But Clear, he's been let go a bit. You see the double satchel at the beginning of the round, but now Mad Lions, of course, they're facing up against Stingers. They have Spectres. They're looking
Nice
for the
Stinger
retake.
meta.
Gangsta does get the trade back. Lots of space here for DSG. But
Nice
they do not
Stinger
have the
meta.
middle of sight. Finally, Exile getting a frag.
Nice
So
Stinger
much
meta.
utility. These 2 players in the middle can't do anything.
Nice
It's
Stinger meta.
rifles. It's Spectres
It's
for
Stinger
Mad
meta,
Lions.
baby.
And then a
It's
single
Stinger
one
meta.
of them to get
Welcome.
anything. DSG pull it
Welcome.
back.
We're in such a heavy, second round full buy meta, especially for these attacking teams. And Disguise play this one extremely well. It's not the slow tempo that we're used to when it comes to Steel's calling structure, but that round, that post lane in particular, Steel
We love
sets himself
Stinger
up for
metas.
that Brim Molly,
We love
denies
Stinger
the
metas.
spike defusal, and that gives time for 2 players to wrap out towards Sands.
I'm
They're
turning off
already
the
at a
ads. Sorry
man
about that.
disadvantage. Things just become so difficult because you have to split the attention, who's watching what, and that communication I mean, we talked about chemistry between teams. I don't think it was there in that instance for Mad Lions to instantly split up their
Oh,
attention.
they're so screwed. 5 classic.
There.
All right, if you don't watch a lot of Valorant,
And now we see DSG
classic is not a
did
good
it best
weapon.
last week. Playing up as a team.
We
it's
have
that
a Phantom
slow,
and a
slow scale
Vandal,
up. On
which
Fracture,
is
you
better
could
than
easily
a
get some early
classic.
map
Pro
control,
tip.
But they opt to stay on their spawn. But this is good for Mad Lions. Completely mitigating any sort of instant pressure that they could get. They're just playing for contact and they're just playing for rotation.
Yeah.
They have almost gotten the stack.
Watch out,
right
she's just
here,
gonna
but
throw a
this is-
grenade here.
This guy is kind of. I mean, they're gonna very
Ooh, that was a
confidently
good
walk
grenade.
into the site, and so Clear already tagged down to 29
Great
HP.
nade.
Again, we're looking at that head-to-head between Clear and Will.
Oh,
Clear
Exalt.
being one of the big players in the last
Oh,
round.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
And it
It's
does
fine,
actually
it's fine.
kick
These
off
things,
here
they
with a single
happen.
kill. That is a Phantom in the hands now of Will.
You know, classic right
Is that
click's
full
kind of
HP
BS, man.
as a
I'm
decent
just
big
gonna
util,
just gonna come out and say it.
Clear
Good.
is gonna have to deal with 4 of these players again. A guy that we talked about. You gotta watch out for this man. We'll see what we can do here.
29 HP! And Clear could have gotten so much more. But this again, DSG just chipping down the defense as they
3v3,
rotate.
3v3.
4
Hey,
players
how'd they
down
get a
in spawn,
Phantom and a
1 player
Vandal?
isolated in spawn.
Planted.
That's also
They were
two
using
rifles
classic.
picked up here now by Mad Lions. And Will still has a double
They're
blast back and a
hacking.
robot to get in. Drone, not yet. With the stun.
Oh,
Oh, very well timed Molly though here. And
They're gonna
as
wait
well
for
the
that
follow up
Molly.
is gonna be that fault line.
okay. Stun coming
They-
in.
they changed their
Can't
gun.
Make it out. Again, suppressed, but Steel around the corner. He might get found out by the boom bot. They got to clear that out. Steel! The up
Gangsta.
angle works out perfectly
Gangsta's
for him.
coming up
He
clutch this
He lets
series.
Gangsta do all the work, taking all the peaks, but he gets this cheeky second frag. The crossfire on site was also pretty good too, but 2-1 DSG.
Now we're gonna have these rifles out here between Mad Lions and Disguised.
Gangsta, my hopes and dreams.
A breach ult available here for Gangsta. Steel's
They're
gonna have
all
the
on
Brit
you
ult
today.
as well. Same thing here with Ainge on the other side. It just takes 1 orb for Steel to get onto the orbital strike. So some major ultimates coming to the forefront of this round.
Already.
And this round is a lot more heavy on Mad Lions, especially economically, because the loss here is going to give Disguise a lot of momentum. And it looks like already
buying
Disguise playing a
4
little bit more
Phantoms?
heavy. Tower
They don't
control
trust
might
in
be
their
established.
own
Gangsta can
gunplay.
tunnel with the Rolling Thunder.
They're picking
A
up
lot of
spray
possibilities
guns.
here towards this BM
That's
approach,
lack of
especially
confidence.
with the ultimates they have online.
Yeah, Mad Lions delaying
Phantom
too. They
players,
have double nanoswarms
they're
on
cringe.
stairs. They're really just
Vandal
gonna hold
players
on
are
for time for their
chads.
teammates to be able to rotate. But there's a trip in their spawn too.
Oh,
Mad Lions, they're not finding anything back over
Triple
towards Dish. They're not
Dish
even pushing back
defense?
towards that tripwire. DSG are waiting for anything tricky.
They are playing a pretty heavy retake here, Mad Lions. Having only just Zexro be the guy sitting on the B side. Oh, that's a risky peek from Exalt.
Damn,
That
what
gives
happened?
up a lot of information there towards Mad Lions. In
Push back
Disguise,
immediately, too.
they
Nice,
haven't done
Clear.
too much in terms of space taking. They're gonna have the Clear and Steel work up to get a lurk pick, but it goes back and forth.
all
And
right,
now
Clear.
Mad Lions
Come
have
on,
regrouped in a
show him,
4-on-3.
show him the Chad.
I mean, yeah, you say that.
Chad,
Players
so
dry
Chad.
peek out of spawn.
3v3.
Right into B.
Let's
Clear
go,
getting
Clear.
yet another frag in the Rolling
Chad,
Thunder
such a
to
Chad.
confirm sight. I mean, that was literally just 2 people dry swinging out of B.
Trying to bait out this orbital strike.
30 seconds left.
They're holding it for a retake, not even to the night. The spike
Oh.
plans. Gangsta is just gonna barely get out of it. We're playing with 2 orbital
Guys,
strikes.
it's all 3 of them. There's no one
Steel's got
flanking.
his
Trust
for the
me.
post plan, and he is in a
I
good
have
position to use it
hacks
as well.
on.
If they can find that Brim's position, they might be able to isolate. They
Nice,
actually
Gangsta,
utilize the orbital
nice.
strike to clear out tower. Amazing
Nice,
play from
Gangsta.
Gangsta.
I love
Has
it.
Gangsta
I
stay
love it.
alive
Yeah,
there at
bomb
all?
him. Bomb his
Now
ass.
1v2 behind orbital strike. Has Clear in a 1v1. Has the showstopper in front of him too if Clear wants to use it. Will also has one if he kills him. But
Clear,
kills
Clear.
him instead.
That's what he. That's
A
what he
great
does.
round.
That's the
Disguise.
thing he
I mean,
does.
You
He clears
can't really
people.
explain it other than, I mean, Disguise, they had the battles they wanted.
Forcing them all the way back into spawn. I don't know if that was the initial plan, but using
Okay, I need
that
to not
ultimate, that rolling
get too
thunder
excited.
straight in towards the
I
defender's
haven't
spawn will
fully
give them so
recovered
much
from
time,
COVID
so
yet.
much space, and Clear
I'm
still
literally
using the gaps and
Fighting for my life out here.
capitalizing on space,
You
right? I
calm
mean, this
down.
round was a really big trade between Clear and Steel, right? Steel goes down, Clear is there to trade. He then capitalizes on space, giving up, recognizing the threat towards north side. And he goes here, and it is going to be Will who tries to get aggressive.
They're
The
rushing
knife,
out. Watch out.
I
This
think,
guy brought a
cancels
rocket
out his
launcher
ultimate.
to a
Actually would've been broken
gunfight.
here, but Clear up top anyways. It's going to be good to find Zexro.
And they're waiting a second one too. Good smart hold. Now Mad Lions again down to pistols, down to stingers. Just gonna see Disguise again. Just try to work on the long term. to build up their economy.
They're taking it very cautiously. If Trick can get a single kill here,
Watch
he will
out.
have the null command in the next
Angie
round.
has the most
Drone is guaranteed to have that
terrifying
single
gun in
thunder,
the
so
meta. The
when the middle ground
Stinger.
ultimates do end up becoming an important factor in a map like this, and Disguise
You're never safe when
team
someone
that
owns a Stinger.
hadn't won a single map of Fracture. They come into this with a really strong game plan. And that slow style
Oh
really
my
working in their
God.
favor. They able to manipulate rotations like we saw in that last run. Like, as I was talking, Clear kind of just capitalizing on a lot of space that Mad Lions had given up. So this next
Oh,
round,
let's
Mad
go.
Lions
Man,
is gonna
Gangsta's
win
on
those
one
fight
today.
goals, and it's a question. I don't think they don't get the Trick ultimate online. They don't have the null command, but they will have that rolling thunder. It's how do they implement those ultimates moving forward, and the economy built up for Disguise. Similar stature for Mad Lions. They're gonna, except for it's vice versa, they're gonna need to win this round because their economy is just not prevalent whatsoever. And yeah, Trick actually does get the ultimate.
Yeah, so they should
Placing sentry.
be going for one big take here. I mean, just with the fact that they do see the ultis in front of them. I mean, they can easily bait out. They can easily bait out these ultis.
Fast. Hold on. It looks really fast here towards the top side because you
Is it
already
actually
have
going to be fast?
you have a quick play in position. Will's up top with a showstopper. He can play that if he wants. And yeah, they're looking.
Oh
to
my
establish
god,
this really
it's a
early control, but it's
4-man
just gonna be
crunch
Zip.
on the
Yep, Zip is
Cypher?
gone.
Wow,
It's
it
just gonna
actually
be the
worked
one
out.
Kill, though. They see that now. Drone has gotten the information. You have
That's a good
Nanostorm
play by
alongside
Mad
the alarm
Lions.
bot in sight. The delay could happen here for Zexro. Everyone's coming back over towards Arcade, back over towards Tower. Zexro has time. Zexro is playing with space. Here we go. Could be a crossfire. The Tower
Ooh,
player's
nice
here,
steal.
but
Ooh,
doesn't pull the
steal, baby.
showstopper and steal instead with a double frag. Mad Lions, they still have guns. They still have position back over towards
Shot
Arcade,
that
but
rocket
DSG
launcher out of her.
very cleanly into sight.
And Clear has gotten into spawn as well. That null command popped at the exact moment they hear the showstopper get pulled. And that's a free pick. Because Will is going to get caught in midair. Maybe, I think Will made a mystery there to pop that ultimate in this instance. And from that 4v5, Disguise have done a really good job of recovering this round. And here is where they specialize. They
Ooh,
slow
he's
things
stunned. Get him,
down,
guys. He's stunned.
And they're just going to cause fear in Mad Lions.
I think you
for
see the
rest of this
intention,
round.
though. Drone's so close. He
Oh,
wants to
no.
use that rolling thunder
Thank
to be
God
able
he
to
lived.
take out that spike planner. And that's what they're doing. They're faking for the rolling
peek,
thunder.
don't
They're faking
peek, don't
for
peek.
it turns a util, but they're still going to be able to plant. Drone distracted, and they use the rolling thunder to retake Tower instead. Exalt is the only one that gets hit. You have a crossfire in the middle of sight. Gangsta has the angle.
Oh, no, not the
Exalt is now
flank, the
back.
flank. Look out
Two
behind
players
you,
remaining now.
Gangsta.
One of them is finally rotating from spawn. Trick comes in on time. Has Exalt in a 1v1 right around the corner. No! Steel comes out of the smoke. What a peek from Steel. 1v2 from Ange, and he's gone.
Thank you.
Saved from Steel.
Thank you for winning the round. I really appreciate
And I think Disguise
that.
in this round had
That's
just
very nice
the
of you
better
guys.
knowledge of how to play around these ultimates. Right? Like you said, trying to bait out that rolling thunder, using that null command to cancel out Will's showstopper, and even when in that 4v5 disadvantage, they still understand the game plan. It's okay, we gotta watch out for these ultimates, we have to be prepared for this kind of play. And they had players in position. Right? You look at the way they had that B postman, players were really far spread out to avoid that rolling thunder. And that resets Mad Lions here. And they're going to try very similar to what we saw, where they're going to have a stun over towards their main.
Oh,
fast
wait.
play here towards
They're
mid
preparing
lane
for the
control.
push out this time.
There is
They have
no
a
one here.
5-man,
Will with a hero rifle. And
flank
Disguise, they've gone towards the north side to play their default instead.
Might only catch one. It didn't catch anything.
Oh,
Steel
they
didn't get
don't
caught.
know. Hee hee.
And with that, you get the rotation back over towards A. I mean, again, DSG. You're awaiting this slower play style. It didn't exactly know if on Fracture they were going to
Nice.
change things up, take Clear off the raise, maybe onto maybe an agent that they could take more space with. But
Oh my god,
So far,
the
they're just
flicking
letting
back
Mad
and
Lions
forth. I can't even see
pretty
anything.
much waltz into them.
Nice
They let time
Exalt.
go by. They let Mad Lions
feeling
get
it.
into
He's
their
heating
own
up.
head, get into different positions. Now by the end of this round, it could just be clean once again.
Zexro.
Oh,
does get his
clear.
KJ
I
ultimate
did
lockdown
not
online
teach
for
you that.
round number 8, but this has been
I
disguised
raised you better than that,
over
young
in this
man.
map, to be honest.
Multiple fingers.
But keep doing it.
At least in this first half, things are starting to peel away for a team that, going into this was their map pick for Mad Lions, and it's a map that they very infrequently drop.
Ooh,
An
yeah,
80%
call that
map
timeout.
win rate between the
Hey
when
guys,
they were dark ratio
what's going
and
on?
now when they're Mad Lions. So we knew this
going on?
map
What's
was
happening,
confident,
guys?
but we knew this one was going to be a strong map for them.
Well,
but it has
you
not
know,
been that way.
they're killing us
so
more than
far.
we're killing
I think
them.
the way
What can I
Disguised
say?
are playing, it is
Alright,
an
alright, how do
extremely
we,
difficult style to play against, especially on a map like Fracture.
How do we fix this
where
situation?
4 different choke points, and with the
Alright,
kind of slowness
got it.
of Disguise,
Next
it becomes
time,
unpredictable where they're
we
going to go.
kill
You saw that
them
last
more.
round.
Yep.
Mad Lions tried to pinch that south side of the map instead of north.
Alright, good plan, good plan.
Because of the fact they had already
Let's
done
go.
the north side pinch, Disguise, with their slow style, you group up, you play the 5-man, especially eco rounds like that, where they're infamous for doing
Watch
that.
out for the timeout. Don't worry, this
can't-
is not a technical
you can't
timeout.
dismantle that
Our
kind of play,
weaknesses
but you're
isn't
always
regular
gonna walk
timeout. It's
into
technical
2 or 3
timeout.
players.
The guard called a regular timeout
I mean,
against
Dark
us, didn't do
Ratio,
anything.
The success that they
The guard
found
called
on
a technical
Fracture
timeout
was-
against us.
was
That's
to
when it
through
went
that
bad.
attack. Literally, I think the exact same way that we saw DSG play attack last week on Ascent, we saw Mad Lions play attack on this map. They let Zexro just go wild. They let Zexro go wild on attack.
Yeah.
Everyone else just stayed structured, and they relied on that a lot. They can't do that this time. No one can go out on their own.
It's a really different setup here for Mad Lions. They put Ainge up in heaven tower on the B site with a shotgun. And just KG util to play with. And they're going to put Zexro in a
see if
spot
that
by himself.
timeout's gonna
They're playing a
pay off.
retake here
Okay.
towards this A side. But they have a Rolling Thunder as well to work with. A lot of ultimates coming into this
Ooh,
round.
brimstone. Oh,
PSG are actually putting some acceleration
oh
in
my
this hit.
god, the
Yeah,
double
absolutely.
ult.
Just a one person on site though, taking on the Rolling Thunder. The smokes are off. The orbital strike is good. Clears away, clear. Nobody else
Wow,
can get into the
wait,
middle of sight.
we
Ends up taking
reach
away one.
out to
Here
this
we go
guy
again. Exil's
into
coming out of main. There's
the
still one more
brimstone
player coming
ult?
out of there.
No
It's
way.
incredible to me that Clear is still alive. 30 HP left, and finally he goes away. This retake is fully in there for Mad Lions. They have to cover up this lockdown.
Nice
though.
gangster.
Ace trying to get a spray down. 3 seconds left.
Right, Ziff.
Couldn't get the kills, but
You got
Ziff
this,
is in
baby.
on sight. A 2v1.
Oh my gosh.
Headshot. What a shot from Ziff.
Orbital
Has
strike.
an orbital strike to deal with. 40 seconds left. Ainge is in spawn, waiting for a contact. Ziff, there's no way he's getting closer. Ziff, walking
No,
into the
nice try,
mouth of
Ziff,
the
nice try.
beast. It's the Mad Lions instead that take it away.
NT.
And in a much faster round from Disguise. A much faster round. Trick goes huge with a double from Tower, by the way. His positioning to catch the players on dish to find those 2 players as well, that gives Mad Lions kind of a resurgence in that round. They can play the retake with their ults, they can play the retake, and they can play the post plan as well with Angel's orbital strike. Mad Lions able to knock on a second round, at least keeping their economy afloat, but unfortunately, with only 1 player walking away from that round, they are still economically struggling. And Disguise, once more, are doing a very similar approach, this time on the B side. Another fast look in towards B.
And they see the economy too. This is another opportunity to actually reset Mad Lions. TSG
Oh,
needs
that
this
Molly
round. 2 players
completely doesn't
currently
allow you
holding
to
up
stay
on
up
site.
there.
But this
Watch
is
out, this
way,
guy,
way
this
He
guy.
walks
smart
forward, he
from
walks
DSG.
forward. Ainge gets
Nice,
forward
nice.
instead.
Good
Clear.
flash
They had
combo,
that
holy.
read. Util to clear out just in case.
I mean, this has to be the push, and now nobody flanking. They're gonna have that Brim up soon.
Use the camera.
Ziff is just trying to clear up for Zexro, but again,
You
no
rather them
smokes up
shoot your
just yet.
camera than your
This is
face.
so crazy. Yeah, no smokes, and they're not even committed to sight. Steel was hoping that someone would push down A, but no one does. Now
Whoa,
the
whoa,
smokes
whoa,
are
right
Trick,
now.
where you going, buddy?
Ziff
You can't just walk
catching
to
Trick out in the
arcade and
open.
pretend like
the
you're,
amount of control
you're not
they
gonna
have,
get shot?
right up until the point they get the smokes up.
Bro.
Finally, they take sight. With
This man
full
was just
tower
walking to
control,
arcade.
full stairs control.
I'm just gonna head on
It's only
over to
2 players
arcade.
remaining here, but this is
Oh,
the Disguise that we wanted
Steel,
to see.
you
This is the
lurking
play
rat.
calling that we wanted to see. An investor flawless for Disguised.
Let's get it start fast and then slow things down, which is what Disguise are always good at. And we're not seeing those very apparent mistakes where there's no trade, no one's swinging together. This seems to be a well-oiled machine. Everyone's positioning makes sense. All the util they're throwing makes sense. And Mad Lions are having an incredibly hard time combating that kind of play style. Another eco for them here.
Oh, stingers and sheriffs,
They're
guys.
gonna try and set Will up for another
Those aren't
north side
real
crunch. This time he's gonna come from Dish. And similar to how Disguise countered the last crunch, they're just gonna play towards the bottom part of the map where nobody is.
It's this for the last 3 hard anti-ecos, or at least ones where Mad Lions had pistols.
They just
Disguise
play
have
like
just
this.
stayed towards one side of the map.
Oh,
just
the
wait.
4-man
Just wait.
pinch.
And it's working
We
out.
know
now for
about
Mad Lions.
this.
Have 4 players
You guys
crunching
done
up
this
the top
before.
side. They hear the TP, or the tripwire, excuse me.
Yeah, and they will know
Go
that
in.
that's...
Guys, there's no one on site. Stop
This is
using
a
your
crunch
util.
towards the north side, so they're gonna accelerate, take the site
Come
control.
on, guys. You gotta
I
save
don't think
those.
there's much here to write for Mad Lions. They only have a single stinger and a sheriff.
Yeah, it should just be trying to farm.
Interesting
both
that they
points or just trying to die at the
re-clear.
very end. I mean, both have the
Like, they
exact
move
same
off
objective.
the site. I think that's just really smart, right? You're supposed to
DSG
take space.
almost doing the exact
This
same
guy's
thing.
on
That's
his
why
iPad.
Some of these players are hunting Ziff. He had 3 whole points
Ooh,
left, and he gets all 3
big
of them in
headshots.
one fell swoop. Ultimate going into the next round, an investor flawless.
Back to back.
Okay, Disguised.
My
this
players
map
know
could
that
be
I have
over
a
just
I
this
have a
next
shoot to
round.
go
That's
to
really scary to think.
in
Again,
like
Mad Lions is
an
super
hour.
that pick.
So they're like, okay, we
And
gotta finish.
this
Toast
is
can't keep
Probably
spectating.
one of your last full buys. Next round is, well, you're obviously going to force
I
up next
appreciate
round.
that.
But this is
Yeah,
the
he's
last
gonna use Spectres, right?
full rifle round you're going to have here. Spectres are probably Stingers. So a loss here puts probably Disguise in a position to go 10-2. They're
Or
going fast here into
Matita, I
the
think
B
it's like
site.
5 gets
No question about that. Maybe they ramp things up, get a pick, slow things down like they usually do, but they will send Clear very far out. He has been so instrumental in these rounds, getting deep into spawn every single time here on B.
All right, Clear,
And
what
they
do you
have
got for
switched up
us?
the setup here for Mad Lions. It's Zexro instead in tower, and Trick to try and deal with that pressure from Clear.
And Zexro, excuse me, Trick. He has one ult point left. He gets a kill here. He can use that
Ooh,
ulti to try
okay,
to hold
Clear,
this down.
little-
And indeed,
Yeah,
he gets the
he's
frag.
going too ham.
He is
He's
suppressed.
feeling it too
He
much.
has to wait a little bit until he can actually utilize this ultimate. This is very, very good for Disguise
Nice,
still. They're
Ziff.
in on sight. And Ziff, the lurker, does get the kill onto Zexro. 4v4 now.
You have an orbital strike here and a null command to play the retake. And they are again trying to ban out all this util. First comes the aftershock, and Trick, still good for a second, has his null command as well. This gets tricky here for Disguise.
And the knife still going out.
Ooh,
Trick,
man
oh,
had his
He actually
grenades
utilized the
out.
ultimate right before he goes down. Gets hiding. But Ziff, good spot. They're actually pushing that smoke even more.
Trying to
3
fight the
players from
orbital
Mad Lions, and they're just stuck in their spawn. Again, no plant though. They have time. They're chilling for now. 35 seconds left.
Wait.
And they do not
Oh my
check their-
God,
they
we
do
let
not
them
check their
rest so we
flank.
can shoot
Huge
them.
kills coming in. Mad
That's so
Lions go
smart.
down to 1v3 now. Low HP. Drone has a little bit of a chance.
Oh
but he has
my
the
God,
wide swing.
we let
Has
them
the
res the
orbital
KO
strike.
so that we can
What an
shoot them.
ulti from Steel and an even better
That's
round
so
for the
big
rest
brain.
of DSG.
Such a well-played round from Disguise. Again, these like
Dude,
late
Ziff
round
was
adaptations,
such
I think are
a-
where Disguise
I can't believe he
truly,
stayed alive
truly
with 10
shines.
health that
It's
entire
where they're able to
time.
stay calm and composed. And losing 2 players, by the way, to Trick in a 4v3 again, they still decide, okay, we're not able to be out this orbital strike, let's put pressure. Steel gets up close. Clear's initial plan from his entry was to get close. And Mad Lions not able to deal with it. Last round of this half, and all they've really got is one single Vandal. This round becomes incredibly difficult, and this has been Disguised all over this first half.
Yeah, and I mean, you see the setup on A. They're trying really anything to give themselves a boost in this round. If Will gets any sort of contact, he can instantly use that showstopper. And DSG completely evading that sort of setup. Slow once again. The lack of information always leaves DSG at this sort of pace. It's methodical.
Oh, wait. Well, what are you guys planning here? Try and get clear an
Mad
orb,
Lions
huh?
are scared to take that control now. Alarmbot's gonna reveal that this is a focus towards
Oh, he's got the lineup.
Two
Here we
players
go.
still are gonna work that part of tree,
Konnichiwa,
but Clear's gonna go in
motherfuckers!
first.
Oh.
The showstopper does get the kill. It's not that. It gets the kill. It's instead the nade.
He's
Good
still alive,
trades
he's still
coming
alive.
through, and Will's
Oh
gonna have
God,
to try
he's
and
got a
act
rocket
quick.
launcher. Oh,
Well, the 2 players right in front of him. And Ziff comes out of the smoke to take him down. Good peek from
we're
Ziff.
good, we're
It's
good.
pretty much
This-
over now, right? 1v4.
Doesn't have a rocket
This is
launcher
just a
anymore.
ridiculous first
Spike
half from
planted.
Disguise. Like, I can call and say Clear has probably been the key player in this.
Appreciate
this
that,
first
guys.
half, but man, it is
I'm gonna
just
be on time for my shoot.
systematic from Disguise. They are taking Mad Lions to another level of fracture, and it's not one that Mad Lions have ever experienced before. 10-2 in the first half is a devastating scoreline. Regardless if you want to look at the minute map statistics of what side is better for Mad Lions, it doesn't matter. 10-2 is still devastating, and they go 50-50 most of the time in their first and second halves.
Yeah, I was more intrigued on how the retakes would go down for DSG, but when your defense is this good, when your shift
Damn.
around the attack is
Getting
that good,
into
always
smoke to
leaving the
shoot him
attack
in the
just
face.
enough space for you, or excuse me, leaving the defense enough space to then be able to capitalize. I mean, it's just good stuff from Disguised. Mad Lions now, though, on the attacking side, need to win 11 rounds
this
in
a
a row.
three-man
Or 10.
A
Take
push?
the overtime.
One suppressed.
Bastard play here from Disguise and towards A main. And a slow
Oh,
creep
yeah.
up here from
Kill
Mad
this
Lions,
KO
which
from the
works
back.
This attacking side holds a lot of promise.
There's no one on site. What are
Tempted
you
to use
using your
different scoreline to
YouTube
come
for?
back from it. And so Mad Lions
fools, they don't
accelerating
know.
out in towards the
We're
B
about
site.
to go up their
Tripwire
butts.
might
Oh
actually
my
not kill,
God,
and it
Ziff.
does. 2 big frags already from Disguise.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 people on site and no coverage from the spawn.
Yo, this guy's
clear.
trying to plant.
Exo's
Shoot him.
coming
Shoot him in the
out,
head.
players coming
Nice.
out, and it's Steel with a double.
But
I mean, there
careful,
you go.
guys.
You needed
It's
that
a
if you're
stinger
Mad Lions
meta.
for a chance in the second half.
Just because you win
and
pistol
DSG have
doesn't
just
mean you
swept
win
the rug
eco.
away.
Yeah, there was hope.
Stinger meta.
They're much better
We
on
all
their
know
attacking
it.
side against the nation.
The
They
most
won 9
terrifying thing in
rounds
the
out of
game right
11
now.
played on their attacking side. That was
They
in the
got
second half.
5
Mad Lions are a
stingers.
team that is pretty good
5.
at making attacking halves work.
Oh
But
God.
I think given that scoreline and given what we have
Careful.
now, it's almost impossible to see them coming back through this. 5
Wait,
stingers
they have 5
is what they're
stingers.
gonna
We
be
only
working
have
with.
2.
And there are already 4 players here on the A
No.
site. Are they just going to try and barrel it in? Because there's a stun, there's a nade, there's a molly, there's
Oh,
a
God.
smoke ready for Disguise to contest A main.
Dude, how are there 4 people on this side of the map completely calling them out? Here we go, though. Knife alongside the
No,
full
watch
line to
out,
try
guys,
to
he's
clear
got a
this corner.
stinger.
It might just work. Nobody else is clearing. The trades could come in for Mad Lions. Again, keyword could.
Holy.
But instead, it's DSG. 3 players with the crossfire. 4 players, excuse me, in the middle of main. No chance. Zexro.
Guys, watch the
I
bomb.
could try it, whatever. DSG.
Oh
Already thinking about that
my
next map again, Fracture. A rare map for these 2 teams, but for the fact
Rare
that
for
Disguise have
Disguise.
never won this map, I mean, this is a decent change.
And we're again seeing your critique of, or Steel's critique of, it just felt like we weren't together. We didn't have the right, we weren't trading
It
properly.
was Steel's critique.
Felt a little uncoordinated, and it does not feel uncoordinated here. This feels like a Disguise that is on another level right now against Mad Lions. One last full buy and another attempt at an A hit where there's once again, I feel like I'm watching the same round as what we just watched. Like, it's deja vu. Same
It's
knife
literally-
goes
Wait,
out, the same
they have
contest,
3
the same
stingers
slow
still.
start.
Wait, we just won. How do they still have money for stingers? Oh God, we got stingered. I knew it. I knew it. Oh no.
There goes Will taking down Steel. Zextro coming out of dish. Again, the exact same position. Exile does get the trade, but this is way better. 2 players going down. And now a big chance in a 3v4. Potentially
Yes,
Mad Lions
shoot
might
the
have
smoke.
fight.
The smoke's
the
evil.
spray from Exalt.
We don't like
I
the
don't know
smoke.
if it
Shoot
was
him.
his spray that caught Will, but it did damage. No flash. I mean, you're up 12-2. I would have the
Oh,
confidence to
no.
take this
Wait a
kind of
minute.
swing.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, Will is there. What a spray down from Gangsta.
Come on, Ziff and
Right through the wall,
Gangsta.
but again, low HP
The
for Will.
2 reliable
2 players
core.
remaining. Ainge has a molly to work with, but it's his teammates are currently in main. No molly under trick either. Ainge really just has to hold on to his sight.
Guys,
It's all
not
on
to
his
alarm you,
lonesome.
but
He
there's
does
a
have
bomb.
crossfire. He's waiting up for that cross. Ziff. Okay, that's a perfect cage. Isolates the
flash.
battle against Ainge. The 2v2 now as Ainge goes down.
2
The
stingers,
crossfire's
too.
down. Okay, Cage goes down. Gangsta waiting for the 1v2. Can just defuse down to half, but the Cypher.
Oh!
No!
Gangsta
Hey,
is on one
Gangsta!
today. He's on it
Finishes
today.
off the map with a bang.
And in 2v1 fashion,
Defenders win.
Gangsta is going to pull
Okay,
out map number
we
1
got a
there
map,
for
baby.
Disguise. I mean, I think even if, and that's a big if, they had won that map there. Or that, apologies, not that map,
Gangsta's
that
on one
round.
today.
I don't know how the rest of this year's would go. Would we have seen a comeback? I seriously doubt it. Disguise from top to bottom in this first map played exceptionally well, and there were no questions about, or there were questions, I have to say, but there were none after this one. Okay, are there mistakes going to be made? No mistakes here on Fractured. They can keep this up. I think Disguise here, we were hoping this was going to be
nice.
a gigabanger, but the way
I
it's
might be
shaping
able
up,
to
it looks like
do my
it's only
shoot on
going
time.
one way.
For now, absolutely. I mean, Pearl coming up next. It's Disguise's pick. And after that, we have Ascent where they have a 90% win rate. The future is looking not so bad for Disguised. But again, Mad Lions, they faced this sort of adversity last week. The maps where they ended up losing, they ended up putting up double digits, and we just didn't see that in this map. We need to see that form come back. And Mad Lions, again, for the future of this tournament, they need this win because they face the 2 best teams in their group for the next 2 weeks. So let's see
I
what
actually think I
happens
have to go to
after
the
break again
doctors
with map
after
number 2.
my shoot today. He's even talking now. I feel out of breath. Not to alarm anyone.
Funniest on the team. I don't know. We have a lot of characters.
I think it's the
we have a lot
it's
of
the
funny
COVID
people.
recovery.
I think it's pretty close. I think for my personal taste, I think I'd go with I gotta go with Baby Bay. I think Baby Bay probably. Yeah. Superman very underrated. Superman very.
My apologies. Not too
That
long,
is a
but-
sleeper funny guy.
Yeah.
I don't think many people
Oof.
knew, but I didn't know about. Like he's not have that perception.
I
Like
feel lightheaded.
talking around from other pro players.
And that's
so I would
that's
say
probably
Superman's
just
my
from like
sleeper pick.
the
He's a
stress of
close number
watching.
2.
I mean, the funniest person
also
on my
from,
team
like, the
has
COVID.
to be his new name. I mean, his old name is Dapper. New name, the Guru. It's on you right now. He's the best gaslighter in the world.
Oh, no thought needed. The funniest.
Anyone
member of my team is
here
100%.
ever experienced
100%.
COVID before?
Not even close. Yep. He's a comedian. He's killing it. He's killing it in the streaming. He's a comedian on Twitch.
Honestly, I gotta give it to John. Like, John is just like naturally.
Did anyone
funny.
else
Like,
have
the way he reacts sometimes in our scrims, and
short-breathedness
it's, like gives like these
after
weird, like,
COVID?
replies to like stuff that we like mess up on. Like, it's too funny. I gotta give it to him.
You might have
I don't
long
know, maybe Verno
COVID.
with his dry
Long
humor and
COVID?
sarcasm. It'll just get it.
Who's the funniest on my team? Yeah, this is deadly. It has to be this kid. It has to be Trent. He's like unintentionally
long
just,
C.
like very stupid. So like he just does funny stuff all the time, like on accident. So it has to be him.
Funniest. I think we're all like actually really funny. Like that's not even like a bias, like like on their teammate kind of thing. It's just like actually true. Like it's a bunch of funny guys. But I'd say like I have my hardest laughs with B-Dog probably.
The funniest on my team, I'd probably say, dude, everyone is so funny. I'm not gonna lie. Probably like Tex or, yeah, I'd probably say Tex is pretty funny. Yeah, he's dry humor, and like our personalities like match a lot. So whenever he thinks of something, I think the same thing. It's just so funny.
Yeah, COVID sucks, guys. Don't get COVID. That's bad. Doing good so far. That was a good showing.
Yo, check it out.
Sometimes I'm worried on
the
fracture, but
it's too good to be
the
true.
guy showed
Or
up
if I wear my
big.
Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks. Or if that Jordan 1 Royal box is original, eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who
what was
check.
our top frag that
And
game?
we
Was it Gangsta?
mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check.
Gangsta and Steel?
Every
Man,
logo, every label, every
you know
lace
things are good when
Yeah, it's
Gangsta
checked.
and Steel.
The
Because
luster
normally
of
it's
leather,
clear
the
and
topography on
Exalt
the
that's top
tags,
frag.
to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can
Every
see,
time Steel is like
and even some things you can't.
top fragging, it's like
Really?
it's a good time.
Then they tag them,
It's a good time.
log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.
An absolutely brutal first map as it's a 13-2 finish. Ouch. Welcome back to the Knights Arena Valorant Challengers North America desk. I am kind of at a loss of words here, Sully, because we were talking about this. This should be a close series. This should be pretty good. But no, Disguise just comes out swinging. 13-2, they crushed Mad Lions. It wasn't even close.
No, they got the exact same treatment that they dished out to TSM
Exactly.
on that first map. So let me think about this. Let me like put my tinfoil hat on. It's actually going to be a 2-1 in favor of Mad Lions based on what happened last week. No, the thing is that TSM had spoke and they said that was our warm up map. We didn't warm up before, that's why we got destroyed. No. Mad Lions just got ganked. Like there was no opportunity for them at all in this
How
map.
old are
Like
you?
Mad
It was
Lions
so
planted
it was,
once?
It was not
Really?
painful to watch, but it was raw.
Out of
We
13
need
rounds,
to
you got the
clarify
plant down
that
once?
You were talking about that specific
Oh, wait, no.
before the game.
They only
before
got
we
2
came to the
rounds.
desk, and you
Yeah,
were
I
They
asking
only got to
for
play 2
definition,
rounds
and
on
I'm not-
attack.
I'm still not convinced you used it correctly, but go for it.
That makes more
Well,
sense.
okay,
Like, there's
the
no
context we
way a
said was they
team
got
got
flanked, and that was probably one of
one
the key
plant
things.
in
I'm gonna
13 rounds.
I'm gonna work it back into this definition.
It's because there
Ganks
was
to
no
me means
second
they
half
got flanked,
for
got
them.
stabbed in the back. That's kind of what happened.
That's
I felt multiple
why
times
you
in this
rode them
series-
too
in this
hard in
map,
round
There were a
1.
lot of gaps from Mad Lions, and I am gonna say Fracture. I feel is a hard map to
Angsta,
defend. I think
let's
especially with a style like
go.
Disguise. It
This
was
team
very
is so
apparent, though,
like
the way
even.
Clear was
17,
playing, the way Steel was-
15,
there were
14,
multiple
13,
times where
13.
they would slip
Everyone
through
did so
gaps
well.
and get one or
Like,
two
good
kills
team
on the flank.
play.
I think most recognizably was during that res situation
Like Ziff
where I can't remember who slipped
had
through,
some
but they were
huge
trying to
impact
res,
frags,
I think
too.
it was Trick who was down on the K ultimate.
Like,
and out of
I know he
nowhere,
got a
two
couple
players go down
during
from one person, they
the
just slip through
second
spawn.
pistol round. And that big one with the KO
One
in
thing
the
that I
smoke.
think is incredibly interesting when you look at the stats. Normally, I'm not like Mr. Oh, everyone had a rough game. Everyone pushed it. But no one from Mad Lions was double digits. Not a single player. They struggled to break that number. ACS sub 200 for everybody. I would love to see like what the ADR was even for the top rated player, because it was also probably pretty low. Drone, who at one point in time was a promising young player, you might remember him from the OG TSM roster. I've known Drone for years, and like to see him put up a 3 and 15 score is disappointing. But at the same point in time, you have to look at the map score to be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. They were just getting bodied collectively. It's not one player struggling. It was everybody. The game plan they brought to the table was objectively bad. This is just brutal, Upmind.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, we had players who, you had multiple moments for multi-frags, right? Especially players like Zexro, who were playing Anchor, who had util in front of them to play as a trap, and they could never get a solid opportunity at a frag. I mean, if anything, Zexro is getting pushed back into tower, pushed back into a spawn before they even have an opportunity to use their util, before anyone is even in the stairs. I mean, again, it just looked like everything that D did to get on site was proactive in just keeping Mad Lions away, or never even giving them a chance at that contact.
You know, I think it was more so that there was just a really big disconnect between those players on B side. If you want to talk about Zexro, I'm also going to talk about Trick and Ainge at times when they were playing. It was just a heavy disconnect. There was one guy in spawn and one guy completely isolated tower. I don't even think that they were put in positions to frag. And if you want them to frag, it's 1v like 3 on the entry. And that was something Disguise abused multiple times on that B site. So I just felt for Mad
Someone
Lions
donated
on
me
their side, it was a
$10,
really
but I
big
don't
disconnect
have
between
my
these players. It
donation
didn't
set
look
up.
like any of the mistakes
So
that
thank
were
you for
made
the
between
$10
that
donation,
second
though.
and third map were
I'm
fixed
so
up.
sorry.
And one thing you have to know is Will was just not apparent at all. And we had that graphic of
I'm
Will
on the
when he
guest
wins,
setup.
Will when he loses. Well, that map was when Will loses.
One of the things we do need to take into consideration is it's not over. It's a best of 3, so there's still another map. There's still an opportunity here, and we'll take a look at the map pool again, just so you guys get a refresher. It is important to note, though, this was Mad Lions' pick. It's one thing to lose your pick. That actually has happened a lot already throughout Challengers. We've seen a lot of pick swapping. But to lose it 13-2 is a completely different storyline. And further, bouncing back into your opponent's map pick after a team 2 loss, that is super, super hard, Sully. I'm a little bit discouraged right now. You still said 3 maps because you want to follow the storyline of, oh, they had the big upset win in the first map. Now we're going to see the 2-1. I'm just not convinced that a comeback is going to happen here, because it looks like whatever problems Disguised last week have been rectified.
No, I really think that any whatever Steel was saying, none of that was apparent in that last map. And I think Pearl has been traditionally a really good map for Disguise in the open qualifiers. They absolutely destroyed Oxygen, like not dismantled them, but definitely kind of did what they did on Fracture, which was manipulate rotations. And I think Pearl is a map that Disguise play really well because they put a lot of emphasis on that mid position at times, and that mid position helps manipulate that map so much. I mean, mid on Pearl is very, very crucial. In Disguise, they put a lot of emphasis on that. They will have a player lurking out towards B. So I just feel that this second map of Pearl, a map they have never lost so far for Disguise, it's rough to see a world where Mad Lions, based on the performance, and I think honestly just individually, where they can come back and compete at that level against a team like Disguise, who are on fire given that first
My shoot
map.
is in. 1
Let's
hour,
be fair though, storyline wise,
which is
we've
enough
talked
time
about it
for
since
one
week
match.
one.
If
Teams
this goes to
coming
a game
out,
of 3, I can't
upset
watch it.
loss in map 1, or maybe a
Come on.
map
Let's just-
pick goes your opponent's
Let's just
way.
do a
We've
quick
seen that
13 and
lot.
0, you know?
So there is still
Real quick
a
13 and 0.
chance that this could be their map. Like, we don't want to paint it so grimly, but it does seem difficult. I'm trying to find hope here for Mad Lions because it does feel like the chips are kind of stacked against them.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll just give some broad statistical hope against Shopify, of course, a team that we saw is kind of mortal to this type of team. Just yesterday, they actually ended up taking them the distance. Still was a loss, but it was 13-11 on Pearl. But also, we haven't seen Pearl be played from this team in almost 3 months. So legitimately, I just have no expectations. I mean, if there's ever a map that Mad Lions can just surprise us and just be good on, it's going to be a map that they've kept in their back pocket. But to me, at least, this just has to go down the way of Disguised, purely because they themselves have been very dominant on this map.
It's also important to note, Disguised put up a good amount of rounds in their first match against the Guard. Now, I know that you're going to look at it and be like, well, they still lost. It was like 13-9, 13-5, if I'm not mistaken. They lost 2-0, sure. There is potentially a world where that is one of the best performances against the Guard all season long outside of M80. Because when you look at the groups, the way it stacks up, that team should just stomp the group stages. And they did yesterday. We saw what that team is capable of when matched against one of the qualifier teams. So I think, Sully, we do have to say, to be certainly fair to Disguise, their performance in week 1 may have been a loss, but it may have been better than it appeared just based on how strong the Guard is. But I am told that Agent Select is ready. It is time to jump into map 2. Mad Lions desperately looking for a rebound, but it's Disguise who's coming in for the alley-oop. Take it away.
You know, I love the way that Mark put it there. It's
all right, here we
it's
go.
like they looked bad because they were playing against someone that was just so
They were just good.
Right, that's how I feel when I play my ranked games. It's like some days I'll be really good, but that's probably because I'm playing against people that are a lot worse than me. Maybe that's the situation for Disguise. They just looked bad because they were playing against probably the best team.
Look, I'm
And
just
so
saying, having
that
to
last
play
map,
against the
I mean,
Guard
whatever mistakes, maybe Guard
like,
broke them down fundamentally.
for your first match
maybe
wasn't
they actually
fair.
did take that week off with Ocean and Steel.
We got scammed, bro.
From the interviews that we know, from the way that Steel likes to call, from his past teams,
we're using our
always come back
classic
the next
double
week strong. You learn more from
controller
the loss.
setup.
And now here on Pearl, the second map, again,
People are
stakes
always
high
surprised
here.
when they
One
see
team goes
clear
0-2, the other goes
on
1-1,
Viper.
and when you're 0-2, it is going to be a
But
rough time to try and regroup and make a
we
run for
always
playoff
run
spots.
Yeah, I mean, let's try to
clear
break
on
this down
Viper
real quick because again, Mad
when it comes to
Mad
Pearl.
Lions are making their Pearl debut.
It's actually, like,
in quite a
relatively
bit of time,
common.
and it looks like they've changed up their composition quite a bit. Playing up with a fade on this map, I feel like is a lot more efficient than the Sky that they were playing. You still get the Prowlers, but I feel like just the information hold, replacing that with the Sova instead is better. Zextro playing back on the KJ, also better
When
pick
I
on this
duelist,
map.
you
I think
don't
the last
win
time we
through
even saw them
duelist
on
on
this map, I
Pearl.
think it was the chamber meta, so whatever. You see Mad Lions, most of their players on very comfortable positions.
Where are you gonna duel them?
Except for Ainge, who's playing
Think about
Astra
it.
for the first time in a long time.
There's no place
But
to
again,
duel.
Fracture, it can get chaotic. I'm ready to see some fireworks.
This is a controller map, baby.
And it will be Disguised starting here on the pistol round.
So do you watch all the scrims? Yeah, I tune in every
Knife
day.
comes out to
Not
try
like
and catch
for
that
the
beat, but
entire
it doesn't
5
actually
hours,
catch
but
anyone.
I
And
open
think
it up
having
and I
this double
scroll through.
controller adds just another layer to this attacking side of Disguise because you can set up fakes towards A, you can then revert back towards B and still have enough starts to make that play. And it is
Oh,
gonna
they're
be a
pushing
slow
up.
walk up. You still have
You gotta get past
Zip
Zip, though.
watching the flank as per usual, and
Oh,
he's been
that's
good
right.
in a lot
Back
of
it
these
up.
one-on-one duels, but it's
Back it
Disguise
up.
who have made
All right.
no noise.
You can't go
and are
that way.
starting to ramp it up and they've gotten right onto the B site.
Ooh,
Trying to get the plant
what you
down, but
doing,
Enzo
Killjoy?
doesn't care.
Get off!
Enzo still goes for the wide
Oh,
swing,
nice trade.
And there goes Trick instantly getting traded. 4v3 now. Mad Lions needs to make a big rotation.
They're gonna fight for
Guys,
this
this guy upstairs. Yes. Oh my God, Steel has eyes of an eagle.
Win that mid-lane
How did he
fight.
even see that?
Good point.
And in a 3-on-4, Wall is down, and
Whoa.
Will has been good to find one. We needed him to light up, and here's a start.
Again, they fought for that link. They know that there could just be control there. And here comes Zith.
Ooh,
Zith
what a
with the first
taunt.
contact, but you still have Steel.
Oh,
Steel
okay,
has
Steel.
the first contact, but doesn't get the kill. Still has drone, gets the
Oh.
frag. But the frenzy around the corner to overwhelm. Good instant reaction from Will. If Will gives Steel a little bit more time there, he takes on a 1v2 instead.
Nice try,
Mad
guys.
Lions.
It was
much
good
better
until it
start
was
than last
bad.
map.
So what a
It's
haunt
okay.
from Drone as well
Well,
to
the
give
pistols
Q
are all
range
the
to take the
things
swing
they're
and
gonna
win
win.
that
They
fight.
forgot about the most
Very well
important
played
thing.
retake here, but a lot of credit to the Zags.
Interesting a meta, baby.
Disguise did a lot of good things here, but gave themselves up to these Will 1-on-1s where he finds
That's
a
a
3
stinger
to make
meta.
that retake happen. He was someone that went 5-15 in that first map. You
Wait,
know
guys,
you
that's
need Will to
those are
keep up,
shares.
but you know that
Those
again,
are stingers.
when Will wins or when Mad Lions wins, it's always a key player like Will.
Wait
when
a second.
he doesn't perform, they will lose the map. So watch out for this
I was
guy. and
told
what
it
he
was
can
a
do.
stinger meta.
This type of map where he just has to do more. He's going to be very much mobile. His util get some decent early information, but again, it's an
my man's got a
explosive
lineup?
agent. Doesn't get the first contact. Doesn't call any sort of shift back over from A either. Instead, it's just that full control of mid with not a single
I
piece
trust
of information
Clear
from
with the
Mad Lions.
Sheriff and
Finally,
New
the
Day
alarm
of the
bot
week.
goes down in halls, but you see the slow style from Disguise once again. You usually see this from their full buys, on their anti-ecos, excuse me, but this time on their own eco, they're just taking things corner by corner, trying to overwhelm instead.
Hee hee. Surprise! We got people on A, buddy. What you gonna do?
Trick, who has been playing pretty well.
Shoot him, shoot him.
Especially last week, I think it went like.
And maybe we go elsewhere. What do you guys think?
I want to say throughout that series.
All
I
right,
don't
Steel,
remember
what you
exactly
cooking?
it was, but
They
looked
know
good
we're here,
against TSM,
and it's kind of scary.
looked pretty good as
Should we
well.
rotate
That
boss?
last round was one of the direct counters to when Clear was trying to take those big entries, and now Clear moved on to the Viper, which isn't something that we highlighted too much.
Steel's like,
Instead,
nah.
Kind of a really big role swap for a
30
double
seconds
controller
left.
setup that Disguise has gone.
Ooh, he's in the back.
It has worked very well in the past for Disguise. This round, I don't think much is going to come to fruition, as you can see.
Stay alive, stay alive. He's low. He's 12 health. Like sneeze on him.
For the time being to a 2-0
Nice.
start,
Good
keeping-
sneeze.
I was going to say 4 players alive, but at least 2 of these rifles moving forward, hopefully, and that will put them in a pretty good economic position going into round number 3, where Disguise get their full buy on the board as well.
Maybe some more. They're playing Crossfire again with no contact in sight. They have no chance to actually take away the spike.
It's not planning for us,
Actually,
is
they
it?
take away 3 guns. Not
It's
too
okay.
bad.
Remember,
They're gonna be
we
able to
only
pick
bought
up one
Sheriff.
of the,
We did
one of the
not
Bulldogs back, but
play the cringe Sheriff
Okay,
meta. I mean,
moving
cringe
on.
Stinger
It's going to
meta.
be Mad Lions.
Which means
again, we have
full
to see
guns,
how they even
baby. Look at
structure
those
up their
guns
defense. They're
and how
playing
full
up
they are.
with the duelist. How aggressive are we going to see Will?
It's a very costly round, though, for Mad
I see
Lions.
this
don't
as
think
an
this is a
absolute
round where
win.
You're going to try and... Oh, maybe you are. You actually are forcing all the way back into this. A very interesting buy here for Mad Lions. And I wonder if it's a mentality of let's keep the momentum. If we lose with the lesser guns, yes, it's going to hurt because we lose a round, but it's also going to hurt our morale. So I wonder if maybe that's the call here, as they're putting a little bit more pressure towards B off of that pistol round. You can see there's a peek, there's a knife, and they're instead playing a lot more passive here towards B-Link. So we're going to see Disguise manipulate this mid position, break that turret, and then we'll see what they do afterwards.
Yeah, and that knife is so deep.
Clears.
They're gonna get all of this control
Clear comes here anyway,
right
though.
up for free. It's gonna be that 1v1
Ooh,
battle with
Exalt,
Will.
baby.
Exalt wins it out. Everyone else from Mad Lions
Some
back
eggs
up into
and
their
some
sights.
salt. Holy crap, there's 2 of them there.
Clear, like you said, alongside the spike. But it was Trick all the way on the open. I thought it was gonna be the free frag.
A lot of mid space open up here by Disguise. Both these Mad Lions players have grouped up back in towards a main. Trick wanted
He's got a
another.
bulldog.
Zexro
That's like
got
the
in
worst
position
gun in
there
the
to
game.
trade.
Get him.
That concedes the B site almost entirely. Zexro was very good in the open qualifiers, and we need him to come alive again.
Oh,
Except
wow. That's a
there for
fast
one.
trade. Holy.
In Disguise, they thought that he was going to have a double there, but he only gets 1, so a 2-1-3 in this retake, and it's entirely doable here for Mad Lions.
Absolutely, Zexro still waiting though. Whoa, they faked the plane instead.
3v1.
Steel's trying to find a gap. Kill does go on to Zexro though. Ainge trying to stop this. 1v3, 22 seconds left. Gangsta's low! And Ainge doesn't get
That was
the
close.
frag.
That was actually terrifying.
Disguised. These were, it's that type of round that we were questioning last week.
Big money, big money, big money. Oh, yeah, big
It's
money
not
for us.
really the inability to commit. I think it's just they expected a
They're
little
in
bit more
shambles.
from Ziff
They
here.
cannot afford
right? You
anything.
can already see, oh, he gets 1? Yeah, he should have gotten 2, but he doesn't actually.
I think they faked.
That was a
play like
really
3 or
good
4
turn
times.
by
It's not even
Ange
that.
there.
I think it's more so that the way Disguise play, and I think maybe you read this a little bit differently from me, is that Disguise, when they tap that spike, and it's not an uncommitment. I mean, you're already on the site. You know you're committing to the site. It's that spike tap is to draw out util and draw out players, which we've seen it do multiple times on Fracture. They drew out ultimates, they drew out peaks, they allowed as well for them to get aggressive in towards spawn. We haven't seen that just yet on Pearl, And I think the way this guys have played, it makes it
Ooh, Zip
incredibly
played
hard
that
for
so
Mad Lions to
well.
get a good
He
read.
knew he was gonna
That
try and
slow
tank
tempo
the
means
turret to get a
rotate
free shadow
alert can
shot.
happen at any time. You have to play split
But
up,
he
and
didn't
stacks
peek.
don't really work against this team.
Yeah, fighting for mid-map control purely for information is so risky. You have to use so much utility to do that, and it's the same thing with A and B.
Yes.
Mad Lions.
Nightmare. Take him.
It's gonna get used here, it looks like. And the cards fly to guarantee this round. There's not a lot fighting in this round for Mad
Oh my
Lions. It's
god, I
still
hate
disguised in that
Stingers.
respect.
Stinger meta is
Doesn't
so
look like they even
cringe. When they do it to
expected
us.
the half buy. Looks
When
like
we do it to
cash
them,
was
I love
fine
the
for
Stinger
Mad
meta.
Lions, but they just stick to around that 3K. Excuse me, 2K instead. 45 seconds. Plant will finally go down. No one's gonna push out of that Cosmic.
Jesus Christ, they're just shooting
Honestly,
walls
just
now.
go,
Yeah, it's just
so
it's such a
much-
weird waiting game. They're just waiting out this utility.
Watch out, there's a
Right
flank.
side activity mainly.
Nice.
And they're hoping
Nice
for that
job,
flank from
Finally.
Zexo, which actually
Yep.
gets nothing from it. So that should dismantle this retake here for Mad Lions.
And the stars are gone too. They have to push out onto site. They have to watch this 1v3 essentially. Ziff gonna be able to get the crossfire. Clear is now here. It was a 1v3
Jump on his
for
head.
GameStop, but now it's a 4v1 instead.
Second round cleanup there from Disguise. Ziff now only one off of his lockdown. That will be Mad Lions with the full buyback. So there's a null command in play alongside that showstopper. And I'm curious to see if there's going to be an attempt to fight mid a little bit heavier. Last couple rounds have just been a turret towards B-Link and then a very passive hold towards Art. So they are fighting a little bit heavier here. An alarm bot here dropped towards Link. A bigger fight as well between both Will and Trick to look for this mid control.
Bring them down.
Ganks is going to try and counter back here with a single Prowler. Does force one player back, but yeah, you can see Mad Lions trying to adjust, taking a lot of mid control this time around.
And all Ziff is going to do here is play contact and just keep these players here. Try to fight these three players. Might peek on.
There's
a
no
lot
one
of time for
peeking
PSG.
There's no one peeking on me for
Ooh,
Mad
we
Lions,
know
so
you're
they
here.
don't know that this walk is
Come
happening,
on.
and it's gonna happen again.
Oh, he's gonna
Exalt has
flash
got the ult
ult.
as well. The counter out Will's showstopper, and Zexo just has no idea.
Yeah,
this
back it
is all the way
up.
to
Back it up,
B-Halls already.
Zexro.
It's just unfortunate, but again, they were more or less playing for that retake.
Watch
It
out
was
for
only
Angie's
Zexter here.
ult if he gets one kill.
Here we go now. It's going to be a full 5v5. We're looking at guns here. They're clearing on mid.
We're playing long range, baby.
slowly
We got
now.
post
We've
plans
seen
for
already so
days.
many
They
lurks
backed
from
out
PSG.
so fast.
Pros
There's no
all
life
map.
here from Exalt to cancel out this showstopper.
We
But
spent
time
10 hours
is
being
fought
nerds
for
on
these
this
guys.
map.
Exalt the only man in sight, contesting with the flash.
Oh my god.
Zexo just goes right on through, and he's cutting down
crazy,
the
man.
defense. But Mad Lions instead,
Traded.
they do take one back with a showstopper. Clear still at the top. 3 players, 2 players at the top of mid, top of long, excuse me. Clear does have the angle.
Oh,
Patron gets him
playtime,
instead,
playtime.
And that's the ultimate frag. Steel
Nice.
was waiting the entire time.
Good post
to take out
plans.
the player on spike. Let everyone else contact instead. And Drone just can't get it done.
And it was again extremely
Ooh, the
similar to what I was
economy is
talking about
once
on the map
again in
fracture.
shambles.
The Skies have got an incredible
Exalt went
good
crazy
for how
there.
these
Gangsta
ultimates are
got
coming into
gets
these
the
rounds.
trade.
And this one was
Steel
really well
takes
played.
him off
Again,
spike.
you have at least one player contesting the site, being a nuisance, even when that showstopper comes out. And I think Exalt's goal there
I
is,
see this as
you
an
know, he
absolute
gets a kill,
win.
which is nice, but also to distract and draw the showstopper, that ultimate into a different position. Well played from this guys in that post play. Now they're stacking 4 players, apologies, towards this A side. And Mad
Oh,
Lions,
a fast
they're
hit.
trying
That's
to
so
adjust, but they're just,
uncharacteristic of us. We
they're
never do
not
fast
winning
hits.
times right now. There's no one towards mid for the second time in a row.
And instead, for their troubles, they get a lockdown in their face. The best thing they can do now is potentially take back A control, but it's just not going to happen. They have to back out towards their spawn. DSG, again, just looking for another clean round. It's not like their economy is fully out of the way.
Ziff's got the
It's yet
backside.
another round where 5 players stay alive here. 4 Mad Lions trying to
wow.
make this retake happen.
They are fighting so heavily for this,
Ooh.
guys. This
Oh,
is
he showed up with the Marshall.
something that they did on Fracture, something they did in the last round, something they're doing here again.
Oh,
And I can
what are you
almost-
bouncing to,
you can
Will?
almost guaranteedly see the control that Disguise and the kind of the flow of the game right now that's going through them. This is a Disguise that is beating out any mistakes they had against the guard. Again, I think Mark posed the question better.
Call that timeout.
Was it that they
guys,
played poorly? Was it just a team
guys,
that played
what's
way,
happening,
way above
man?
their level? And I think it
Why
could
don't
go
we
either
just
way,
do
but
what we
we're
did
seeing
on
here is
pistol
the
round?
disguise
But
that
every
we didn't
single
see against the
round.
guard, and Mad Lions have called the timeout.
Why not just do that?
2 rounds picked
Yes,
up
sir.
to 4 of
Pistol
disguise.
rounds,
Remember,
we only get that once per half. You know, they're pretty bad at pistols,
if they don't win,
but then they just buy guns and they're good with those guns.
Still
So
M80
I mean,
and
maybe
the
we
guard.
can ask them to like
And
a
it's
gentleman's
tough for
agreement,
Mad Lions
pistols
to be
only.
in an 0-2 position and to try and recover for playoffs.
I mean, Steele also said that it was mainly growing pains. I mean, it was a culmination. It was a compounding effect of.
Well,
course,
don't
the
worry.
team,
We'll have
but
at
of
least one more
course,
pistol
them
round.
Facing for the first time a
this
team
game.
of the level of the guard.
They don't do that.
So we're guaranteed at least one more
They faced
round
this
win.
tier just a few weeks ago.
It was a big test for them as well because Steel hasn't been in the like VCT. It wasn't in the VCT circuit.
It's been a minute.
Right? It was Gangsta, Exalt, and Ziff that had that experience. Clear was completely new to that kind of level of Valorant and that level of a team. So, yeah, I'm not going to chalk it up to growing pains. As I said earlier, I think the chemistry should have been there from the get-go, but not this time around. Another approach here and 4 ultimates for Mad Lions. The lockdown from Zexro, and you can see an emphasis to lockdown art here as well. Mad Lions are playing a little bit more aggressive this time. They tried to switch it up. They went mid 2 rounds in a row, didn't get anything. This time they pushed B long, and now they've got a firm grasp on this round, it looks like.
Uh-oh. Wait. Is this
At
an
least have a
op?
decent
What
idea
what
of
is
they're
this?
Doing. There's nobody over to
What is
B,
this?
but the rotation back to A is just not happening. They shock. However, the offer in terms of Steel, Gangsta does get the trade back. It's going to be Trick now in a 1v2.
Yo, put down the op, guys. Put down the op.
Does have a teammate crossfiring back over towards short, but now Trick has to stay alive. 10 HP left. Zexro has
10
the
HP?
crossing short.
Oh, he
The
got shot in the
rotation is
leg.
coming in. Great time delay here for Mad Lions.
Really watch out for that art lurk. A popped ult in here from Trick to try and slow down the exec even further.
Sneeze on this kid.
Time for Drone to build up and
Nice,
Gangsta.
Gangsta.
There you go.
A big shot, and that is an unresable position. Ziff, I don't know if he's in the range.
Wait.
So Drone has been able to
Why
survive
did the
through.
robot not work?
Oh, in the lock. You kidding me? The alarm bell goes up right behind him, right as he walks by.
What?
The timing is insane.
30 seconds left.
Unfortunate for DSG. Now they're stuck on A. They do have Spike, though. They need to clear out Will. They've cleared short. They've made their way past short.
You just don't know where Drone is at this time. And it's up to Clear to win this
Nice
fight.
clear,
Oh my goodness, he wins
baby.
that fight in spectacular fashion. And now they know where that haunt came from. They should know where both these players are. 4 seconds left, and they can play the post, but that lockdown doesn't actually reach the depths of dugout.
Not at all. They can look directly at Spike. They're on the edge of the lockdown. It wasn't enough. Look at this jump. Zexro does find Gangsta. It was almost so cheeky for him. But now Clear. 1v2. Playing in the back line. Gonna be able to find the first.
Oh,
The
NT,
swing from
NT,
Drone.
so
It
close.
needed to be
One
a bullet to
bullet,
the
36
head
health, just
to
one
make
bullet.
it work, but instead,
Let's try.
Drone takes it back.
A really nice pick up there from Mad Lions and a nice change of pace. I think the B aggression really does work there. It gives you a lot of space and a lot of time to think on. Timeout does net them a singular round, but can they replicate it here in the next?
God.
Still
Such
a lot of
unfortunate
questions as to
timing
how
on that
all
one.
these players are performing individually off of that first map.
Remaining. One enemy remaining.
Still early days here on Pearl, but that was a big change up, and I think one that definitely worked out a lot better. Now what's the switch up here again? You lose 4
Wait,
players.
their eco
They
is
actually
still
have
screwed, though.
No, they have nothing. This is an eco round, technically, for Mad Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an eco.
Wait, they win a round and they
Because
have to go
they're
on
just
eco?
down to the same amount of money, but DSG, again, it might be the same situation that we saw a few rounds ago. They face a loss, but they just don't know if their opponents have guns or not. So they're just going to put every piece of util possible, just a regular exec. 2 players are going to be here on B.
I
But
love that
Ziff is
smoke
going to
setup.
face 2 of his
Oh,
own
Ziff,
back over
come
on
on.
A.
Yeah, this is what
Stay
that
alive, stay alive.
kind of does on B long. That this guys are throwing. It's
Nice
drawing
try.
out aggression. Granted, they lose the aggression. Ult's gonna get popped here as well. 2 ultimates getting popped out here as well. They know
No
a
chance.
rifle's
And
been
Trick is
picked
down.
up.
What?
Oh,
Pixel
no.
runs right towards him, and it's going to be the free frag for Trick.
Yes,
Clear's trying to find a
Clear
shot
with the
with a
shouty.
shotgun, too, and he's going to
Do it again, do it again.
Viper's pit open.
Oh
Wait,
my,
so close.
Zexro.
Zexro gets right in the face of Clear. It's still going to be the kill back for Exalt, but you have one in heaven. Hasn't showed himself yet.
Yes, Exalt, Exalt. I love eggs and salt.
Has been slowly rotating this
Look, you're
entire
laughing,
time
Salt.
through mid, and is finally going to make his appearance. Still has a Cosmic Divide. Still could cover up the spike if he wants to with some utility, but still, Gravwell on top. Steel does pull. There goes the haunt. The defuse has to go in now. It has to be a full ninja defuse. They have to miss their bullets, but it's not going to happen.
The respect from Disguise to pop 2 ultimates. But what a contestful round from Mad Lions.
Wait, Gangsta didn't run out in time.
Zextra with a nasty flick onto clear. Yeah, you'll see it here on this replay in a second. The way that Zextra was able to remove this one player, even with lesser guns, I think this is a very well-played round coming out from the side of Mad Lions. But still, Disguise, they walk away with it in the end. I wonder what their economy is going to look like here as well, because both teams are kind of in a very hot spot economically. Yeah, both teams definitely are. The team that loses is going to get reset, and it's going to be Disguise and a 5-man approach towards the A site.
Instantly, a lot of util on the front line. Gravwell to try to clear out anyone trying to make that first contact, anyone trying to push up A main. This is just everyone from DSG here.
Oh my god, my man just runs in? What a Chad, man. He's too Chad.
An empty site, but they do get one pick.
Who runs in like that?
And Clear was watching earlier for the B long push. They're reading into these kind of flanks that Mad Lions are going for. A big trade and a 4-on-4, but this is what Disguise do all the time. They could be in A main. They could be already in Flowers. They could be in Spawn. So many angles to clear.
Oh, that Astra ult where no one's there, buddy.
Position doesn't even matter. Everyone's in the back.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he shortied him. Steel, you can't be doing that. Steel. You can't be busting out the shorty like that, man.
is still up good.
Yeah, that's a great play again from Disguise. Reading, I don't know if it's a direct read. Maybe it's a call from Steel to say, hey, they have a Cosmic Divide. Let's push in a Spawn because we know where that ult's going to go. Another well-played round from Disguise, avoiding that Cosmic Divide. Playing very close corners where you kind of have an advantage if you're the player holding the angle. That's what Steel had on those 3 kills. Mad Lions get reset once more, and Disguise continue to pull away. Similar to what we saw in the first round, they're pulling away here again in the second.
It's so much work now. So much second guessing.
Flash out, peek out, Chad.
And in these rounds, no progress can be
Arrow
made.
out, Chad.
It's just pistols, it's
Hex
just random
the
pushes.
Killjoy. Very nice.
Can do, unless you stack all 4 or 5 on a single site. Last week, DSG
oh god,
did not have
no.
a very good grasp of map control, map flow, rotations. This time, however, they're directly playing against it.
130 damage. He's one shot.
Another really slow walk-up. And that first pick is kind of scaring Ziff into holding this position. He lost it as well before, so you have to be cautious of this Mad Lions that are now starting to put pressure on these flanks. Even with these lesser guns, it's still a threat. Spike goes down, a little bit of damage on the Gangsta. Zip has worked his way up and towards B-Link. Here's a player coming in who can spawn. But there's kills
oh
going
no,
back
they
with
bought
Mad
stingers.
Lions. Down to a 2v3.
Oh my god, Exalt. No way. You can't do that.
Flicks right behind him.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing, Exalt. That's not a thing.
Exalt, you legend.
That was unreal from Exalt. And when things started to get scary, a crazy flick comes out from Exalt. One, I think he heard the sheriff shot, and Zextra was just out in the open mid-reload. A misplay from Zextra for sure, but what a swing from Exalt after he hears the sheriff shot. Rifles are back in the hands of Mad Lions. They have a
that is not normally.
They're putting pressure towards B-Link to play that lockdown. No one towards A-main. A massive switch up and a big mid duel.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 players trying to go into mid, and DSG for the first time has a lot of players here too. There goes the util, there goes the nade, but Exalt's not being found by any of it. Again, all the 2 players there though. This hold is so strong for Mad Lions.
They surely saw Will's head as well.
Oh,
and they should know, and they're trying to fight it, but it's not winning. They're not winning any of these duels towards mid.
We just lost 2 off the bat.
Mad Lions have got a massive man advantage.
Keep ducking,
After
gangsta.
early contacts at that, I mean, we've
It's okay.
seen
Will's
retakes from
one
Mad
shot.
Lions. We've seen late
120.
round
120 on Will.
Finally, finding the gap, predicting what your opponents are gonna do, has given them a round. Here comes the rifles trying to come out of halls, but it's gonna be a three-man crossfire here.
All right, gangsta. Just go ahead and do a little quick. Oh.
For Mad Lions.
Wow.
All right, guys.
Swing,
Don't
pulls the
go
grab
to
well, and
the
then
middle.
rest of it,
Middle
his team
bad.
comes to the rescue,
Middle,
one
very,
towards that
middle
lane.
very bad.
Spawn
We don't like
from
middle.
B-Link. The Mad Lions have made this a much more competitive half. A much more competitive half. Granted, it does feel, you know, the way this game has gone, Disguise are still in control. It's still a very close first half, and there's a lot more to be played here. But Mad Lions, they've made this one competitive. And for the last round, it's not the full
guys.
Disguise won. And they're even going to sit on attack timeout, Gus.
I'll time out here.
Okay.
We're going to use this wisely.
Finally, the first timeout for
So,
Disguised. I mean,
this round,
neither one of the two teams needed
don't
a
go
timeout
middle.
in the first map purely because Mad Lions, they were already well
Middle
gone
bad.
by the time they even thought
And I
about
would
it.
also say for the rest of
This
our remaining
just
attacking
be uncharted
rounds,
territory very
we
soon
also
for
don't go
DSG.
middle.
Again, not dropping more than 4 rounds on any
How does
one
that
map
sound
of
to you?
Fracture. Again, quite the impressive stat.
middle.
But DSG
All right, guys,
going
no
onto
more-
their defensive
no
side,
more
the
middle
defensive
attacks.
side where they haven't faced any top tier 2 team fully. They
think that's
haven't
fair to say.
tested this defense.
And a team that, you know, Gus, has thrived on the attack as well. 9-3 half against Oxygen, 11-1 against the infamous Team Fish Taco. So it's not the worst of halves here for Mad Lions. And to force Disguise to go into a timeout as well kind of shows that the adaptations are working here. And this is Disguise. For the first time, taking that timeout, it's okay. Look at the ultimates. How they've been very good at manipulating ultimates and playing around the concept of them. How do they do it here? You have the null command that we've seen Exalt use to shut down Will. As Will takes an aggressive peek out towards A main, it's a focus back in towards mid.
Oh my
Exalt
god,
immediately
oh
pulls
god,
out-
there's so
pulls
much
out his
utils.
ultimate.
Oh, there's
Grab well right in
3
front of him. But
agents
again, with the
here.
nade up, neither one of
Everyone's
the 3
here,
players
guys.
trying to rotate are going to be able to do anything.
Oh
Chase
god,
incoming, and
press
only
the
one
alt,
person in
use
the
the
back
alt,
line.
use
Lockdown
everything.
being
Press
used
every
too.
button that's glowing on
This
your
is going to be a
keyboard.
full retake from Mad Lions.
And I like this. They're leaving Zip here towards B-Link so that lockdown doesn't get popped in towards B-Link. And they can play this post with the way they want to. You get this spike down. This is very similar to what we saw when, in that like 3rd round where they're playing towards long and they're just playing the
Jesus
post land.
Christ,
They
it's
have
just
a
alt
nade and a
after alt.
showstopper to stop this too, but here comes Will. Excuse me, Will. Oh my goodness, Will not gonna be able to find anything because
Guys,
of
they're
that.
defusing the
There
bomb.
goes Zextro. Does take the frag back. Ange needs to get this
Hmm.
done. Zip finally comes out of mid, but it's
Guys,
just
I don't
too
know. Guys.
late. How does Clear get into that position? Clear had it in B.
I forgot about
Such a heavy duel between
bomb.
both those sides.
I guess they
Mad
could
Lions
just
getting
defuse it,
aggressive
huh,
this time
when you
with
really
post
think
land,
about it.
ensuring Disguise can't play the long post slants. This half is a lot closer than a lot of people might have imagined given that first map scoreline. Mad Lions are still in this series and they're not out of it just yet. It might not be their map pick, but that doesn't mean they can't win it. We've seen a lot of maps being traded back and forth between teams, so it wouldn't be a surprise
believe
here.
they-
But for now, Disguise,
figured out our one
I don't think
weakness.
they've dropped off in form whatsoever.
Defusing the
It's just Mad
bomb.
Lions have finally stepped up, and in this second
Oh
half,
no,
they have
pistol
to do it again.
round.
They haven't played Pearl too many times. They haven't won it too many times.
No, not pistol
But
round.
when you're in
Anything
a
but
2-0-2
pistol round.
situation off of this map loss and this challenger split
Oh.
lead,
Yeah,
that's
3-man
when you really
run
gotta
out.
come and put your A game forward.
Again, we don't know how this attack side of Mad Lions plays, but again, with the Rays, you can expect it to be a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more explosive, but Disguised. They get all of that A main control. 3 players push up, and they have the info.
Oh,
Mad Lions are gonna try to
don't
retake
tell me
this
you guys are
series
gonna
as well.
challenge
Looking
Zip.
towards an A split by the looks of things.
That would be a big mistake.
This guy's
Don't
got a
challenge
pretty good
Zip,
read
man.
here as well. You know, now for Zip is contesting towards the link. And granted, there's a contest. The spike isn't going that way, and a big fight out towards mid. Still gets one.
They
Zip will
contest the
fall.
Zip.
But that will open up the A site, and now Disguise are kind of chasing these players to try and make the retake happen.
And they were looking for a lot more too. Very, very cheeky from Drone and Trick to be pretty much back in their spawn.
Don't worry, clear. This
DSG.
man bought a sheriff
They're going to be coming
on
from
Viper.
3 different angles. How do they even opt to play this? I think they're waiting a little bit for that util to come up.
every player on Mad Lions is watching a major choke point. Trick.
Oh,
Smoke gets
whoa.
off of him. He does get
Careful.
the contest, but this is Disguise working in a lot
Oh,
of one-on-ones.
that's the guy with
There
the
you go, 2
sheriff.
contacts had. Gangsta's gonna
That's
go
the guy
down.
with the sheriff.
Three.
Remember?
Three
What does he have?
positions, 3 frags. Ainge is now the last one remaining on 1v3. Has the grab ball, takes down the first.
He's got a
Needs
sheriff.
Headshot onto Steel, but Steel
He's got a sheriff.
takes it away instead. Defuse, however, is going to go down.
Oh, he
Point
gets it!
2-4.
0.24 seconds.
.24.
Just barely Disguise are going to get that round, cuss.
What a retake. I mean, it was expected to go down to the wire.
My
One
God.
came from so far away.
One-on-one
I'm gonna
duels,
pass
and they win every
out,
single one of them,
both
Disguise.
because of my blood pressure, but
Back
also
to back
because
to
of
back.
COVID.
They go with those one-on-one duels, and Mad Lions.
Oh.
I'm not going to say that was a round you have to win to stay in this map, but it was a big one. They're going to force back into this off of their full buy to try and make this round competitive. We're in a Stinger meta. We
But
haven't
the
hit
last
new
thing I want
patch
to
with
see
the
is a
nerf just
victory
yet.
screen.
So they're going to try and put this into full swing. It's 4 Stingers and a Marshall. But there's no fast approach. It's a contestant set from Disguise towards mid, but it's only in the form of a single C's. You're playing with a turret and an alarm bot off of just Ziff.
If Disguise play the same way they did last round, they should peek onto Ainge back in their spawn.
God,
but
Quadra
the 3
Stinger
players who would
Force?
push
You
up
guys are
A, they've already
cringe.
left. They're already making full rotations
Guys,
pretty much.
look out. They
There goes the
bought 4
contact wire
Stingers.
back over in short.
And the turret pulls Ziff over towards Art instead, where they're just kind of banking on this alarm bot. A really nice knife, though. I think I can hit at least 3 players there. And that's starting to back Mad Lions over towards this A side. Ainge has been holding here for the entire round. They don't know what the positioning is, because last round it was 3 players got into Art. This time Steel is playing with a solo
timing.
rifle. He has a star to work
Did they
with.
see him? Then now they saw
Oh,
him.
he got 2.
Oh,
He's good for
Steel.
2,
There
baby.
you go. Lines up the headshots. 2 was pretty much the best that he could hope
Oh
for.
my God, Stingers are
No,
cringe.
Ziff had such an important position, and he goes down to Zextra. Now it's Gangsta, a 1v3. Unless, of course, the KO can help with a flash, and indeed he does. What a flash! Trick is on site. Gangsta has isolated him.
Wait,
but now
he got
Will's
another
finally made his
one?
way out. Haunt doesn't pick out anyone, but this is a very
No
strong push
way,
from
this
DSG.
thing is
Both
better.
players remaining. Push out immediately.
HP is low, though, for Zextro, and they're really not in positions to fight together
Oh, they
here.
need- He's just gonna go for the defuse with it, surely.
Exalt could Loki just take this. He can Loki just take this the whole way. It's got to be an early swing. Zextro, damage has been done. He wins the first. Exalt with another. Zextro in a one-on-one. And 20 bullets left. You see the HP. You see the player. And Exalt again in a one-on-2.
God
It's going to pick up the round there for Disguise.
Calm the Vandal. Calm the Vandal. Tell him where the Vandal is. Somebody. Oh, the Vandal's right over
Mad
here.
Lions needed the pistol, sure.
Oh,
But the
he's
second
feeling
round,
it.
they
Drake
realize
is
the
feeling
pressure.
it.
They buy the Stingers.
Yeah, you force into that round. You have no money left over, and you're gonna give Disguise, I would say, a guaranteed 10. With definitely quotes around that. But this is risky business now here for Mad Lions. And they're forcing into it again.
They're
A
forcing
second
it
Stinger
again?
buyback.
Guys, you
which
can't just keep
this
buying
buy
Stinger.
does allow them with the
No,
last one it's
that's-
gonna buy
that's
moving
not a
forward, but it
legitimate
is,
strategy.
again, heavy risk after heavy risk between Mad Lions.
You can't just buy Stingers and hope you win.
Never having a full rifle round. Mad Lions, they don't want it easy.
Another-
3 players popping into A main.
Aggressive look here from Disguise, yeah.
Christ, there's
flash
4 of
once.
them and they all have Stingers.
And the gravel is gonna give them that control just for the orb, and then they back away.
Steel taking on a lot of pressure, but again, so much utility is here. The controllers are here. You still have Zexor covering up short too. They have the alarm bot set for anyone that's lurking. Indeed, there's one person trying
Oh
to
my
do that.
God,
Trick might have spotted.
Wait, that's
the
Trick?
alarm
Where
bot.
is he going?
The alarm bot didn't spot him. 1 minute and 5.
Disguise are so quick to realize what's happened here. And they've left the anchor of Clear over towards that B side, who that kid has been playing extremely well.
Oh, this position is so crazy. The first contact is going to come from the KO. And from the corner, will come Zextro. Exalt's going to get the first frag. 2 kills from Ziff.
Oh my God,
And that
nice
should already
trade.
give DSG a strong chance at the rest of this round. 28 HP left
Nice
for Will.
trades,
Will needs
nice
headshots going for it,
trades.
but it just won't happen. Like you said, free round back for DSG, but Adline still tried to put up a fight. It was the Stingers.
It was a nice read, though, from Disguise to recognize that and not kind of get sucked into the idea that Stingers equal a fast play. They didn't overcommit on rotations. They didn't leave this mid position completely weak, and they still have that alarm bot towards B-Link, which I'm wondering if there's going to be an attempt from Mad Lions to put pressure on that B-Link and break that alarm bot. Because there hasn't been anyone playing there for the past couple of rounds. Maybe they haven't realized that just yet, but it's been a weak spot here. A lot of ultimates starting to come forward. Will one off the show summer. Zexor same thing as well.
What happened? He was mid-flashing and he's fine.
Spam.
He's like, all right, I'm going to do
take
a
those.
pop,
It's not just gonna be the 1v1
pop
and
flash,
B.
do a 180
yeah,
spin, and
three
I'm
push
dead.
in A main. Exactly, it's gonna be the turret and
He
potentially
was
an instant
in the
swing
smoke.
from
Uh-oh.
that, but Exalt's out in the open. The timing is crazy. Still 2 players here on A to hold.
And they're coming back to fight here as well. Steel was already holding
And the
towards A, so
doggies.
he's going to come assist the fight as well now. A 3-on-3 on A and a 1-on-1 on B.
Oh my.
Again,
This kid
You
is
can't be
crazy.
sending kids to die.
If you thought he was good on
Dude,
Jet,
you can't
on
be sending
Viper, he's a
poor
living
poor
turret.
Zexro. It's not his fault,
Bad Lions have
man.
been
You send a
completely
guy
isolated
to
now.
1v1 clear.
They're gonna try to break back into spawn. This might be smart.
Oh
Zip
god,
has
get
that
vent,
angle,
start
though.
venting.
With the sheriff, that could be very dangerous.
Please.
But they instead, they clear out the contact. Now they're trying to go into A.
Look at the way the Disguise have adjusted to this. They realize they've got an art, so they take A main back in Gangsta. Not a lot of safe spots you can plan, because you know Zip was still in towards spawn. and you
Oh
know
my god,
there's
wait,
still
he
a
killed the
contest.
second guy by accident.
DSG, Disguise, are disgusting on this map.
My goodness, I mean, Bad Lions.
Hey, come on, buy your
for sure,
stingers.
The
Come on.
most impressive side to face Disguised on
Alright, guys.
Pearl. If that doesn't say anything for you,
It's
I don't know what
5-11.
does. Mad Lions have gotten
Should we
5
buy
rounds.
more
It's the most
stingers?
impressive team on Pearl against DSG so far, and DSG just continue to win out these rounds methodically.
And this timeout is a massive one for Mad Lions. It's your last timeout and your last opportunity in this game to get a footing, and you have to win this round. Otherwise, you're playing 7 rounds straight, Gus, of just 0 mistakes.
Are we
0
buying
flaws, trying
stingers,
to
and
push
how
the
many
OT.
stingers are we
And
buying?
this map, these next 2 rounds from Disguise, if they win it, decide your fate if you're 1-1, or if we're at least going to a third map. Not even at 1-1 just yet, or you're going 0-2 here in the group stages in the first 2 weeks.
Listen,
And
at
then-
least Disguised got the guard game out of the way.
Yeah, you still have M80 in the guard after this for Mad Lions. So there is still a lot of worries for this team. And Mark said it, you could possibly be going 0-4 if you don't make the necessary adjustments after this game to compete and then beat M80 in the guard.
Yeah, retroactively, we're going to say that the first 2 weeks were pivotal for the end of the season.
No, that's very fair to say.
Clear's
A
got
lot
the
rests on
lineup.
this next round. In Disguise. On Pearl, it hasn't been sunny for Mad Lions, and it's been a coast here for Disguise. Clear again with this Guardian out towards long, and this time Mad Lions are playing a lot slower.
Damn, he's
Same
staying
with
on the
Disguise, not a
Guardian
major
by
contest towards
choice.
A-main
He's
this
like,
time around.
yeah, I could buy a Vandal, but the Guardian does the same thing if you click on them and on the head.
With that information not taken, DSG, they've also shifted up. A double peek back over towards short instead. You already had Ziff playing deeper just in terms of a rotation, but this time
Did he even check that
gonna
box?
play it more of an instant crossfire style, of an instant trade style.
There's a Fade ult here from Gangsta to contest this A main area, or apologies, A area.
Oh my god, the
And even
sub
then, they're still
with
gonna go
the
just for a big
robot
fight.
and
They're
the
gonna try to
double
split back
hole?
in towards B-Link Mad Lions.
Who
They
cooked
have
up
the
this
ulti,
strat?
Exalt.
That
Could just have the
that
ultimate
is not
ready if they
fair.
actually go out.
Ridiculous from Clear.
And he has it. No command shuts them down. They
They
just
wait,
run
I just
away.
realized
And back
Mad
over
Lions
towards
have not
Red
gone
Nightfall
B
still
once,
is in
right?
play.
They know Clear holds it
They're
every
not out of
time.
this just yet. Mad Lions.
Every time they
You
send,
wanted to
okay,
avoid
let's
the
just send
Nightfall.
one
You
guy
wanted
B,
to
see
avoid
what's
the
going on
KO.
over there.
Well, now you're
So
going
yeah,
to
Clear's
one
still
ball.
here. Go the other way, go the other way.
2 players remaining. Ainge and Will have no other option.
Watch out, he's
other
got a
than to
rocket
bomb
launcher.
rush it down B. Here's the ulti.
Alright,
The
don't worry, he
showstopper
missed.
doesn't catch. Exalting
Oh.
completely and Clear.
No, I didn't see anything. I
Does
didn't
have
see
the
anything.
position onto Ainge.
That's
Ainge
probably a bug.
down to 95 HP. Is gonna go down to 0 soon. 12 to 15. One more round for Disguised to take what is the most dominant win of this season so far.
And what a big win for Disguise as well.
Cool.
They've already, like you said, they've gotten the guard game out of the way. This is a team that have very clearly buckled down from last week and made major refinements. So, you know, I would say Disguise going up against Mad Lions, or apologies, going against M80 is probably the one of the final major signed teams in their group, you put them on kind of a very similar level. Now, this last round is going to be a full buy from both these sides. Granted, a lot weaker from Mad Lions and a lot more aggressive from Disguise.
Oh my. Ooh. Zaxter is going to get a big one, but again, it's only one person here in B to try to hold this down. Clear has to do a lot more, but with the Cosmic Divide, it has to be
I think it's maintained this control. This B-Link control is going to be critical.
This
Ziv has his
lockdown
ultimate,
position.
right? Exactly.
This lockdown position is insane.
And
Fade
Zexor
out.
lost his with him
Spike
going
is
down. They
planted. Will
is
is in the back.
That's
We
gonna
gotta
be
clear the back first,
everyone
right?
all the way. It covers both B holes
God,
and the top
what's
wall.
happening?
Yep, this raise. Whoa, there's 2 people here on site. They're gonna try to fight it. Zith and Steel, however,
Wait,
take
is
them
that's
down.
our
2v4.
Astra wall.
Grab will is used against, again, Cosmic Divide is
Oh, they have to
still
run
up.
through.
They have no chance, Mad Lions. Disguised in dominant fashion.
Yes.
Take up the
This is
best
so
win in
good
ACT
because
yet.
we got so
It
much
has been an
round
incredible
differential
two-map
points
series
in
from
case there's a
Disguise. From
tiebreaker.
start to finish, it was
Oh my
clean.
God, we
It
won.
looked good. Disguise. Whatever
Wait, I
mistakes
still have
CC
like
was
24
talking about
minutes to
against Guard,
spare for
simply
my
not apparent
my
here.
shoot.
Everything has been cleaned up.
I thought I was gonna be late for my
And I
shoot.
think for Mad Lions, there's not a lot you can take away from this
I had to
game,
shoot at 3
besides
o'clock,
the
and I'm like, oh,
0-2
I'm
start
probably gonna miss
to
like parts of the
challengers.
series. But
There's a lot to play here. And
I
Mark,
guess
wanna get
my
your thoughts on this
team
one,
must have
because
heard
this
me because
series,
they're like, alright,
it
fine.
was really, really quick.
They
I mean,
cleaned
let's
this
be real. We
series
said
up
it
in 1
coming
hour,
into this game.
like an hour and like
Maybe
15
that
minutes.
performance against the Guard was actually good.
2
I
matches.
know that there was things that they could have done differently. They obviously could have found the win. But based on what we saw from the Guard this week, they are very clearly the best team currently playing in Challengers, just based on current results. So was it possible that Disguise was actually better than we anticipated, and they just played against one of the best teams currently playing Challengers? I think you can make that argument just based on what we just saw.
Guys,
they looked really good
making
there.
us play the Guard
what's the
first.
scale? Mad Lions,
I know
they took quite the
you
close
know,
game
that
in
wasn't
TSM,
fair.
right?
This
What's
is
the
what
scale
we're
now
like.
with this group?
I swear.
What happened when this team faces TSM?
That,
when
last
this
week was
team
just
faces NAD?
you
Yes,
know,
things are getting really spicy in
jitters.
this group as we wanted. But again, there's still other unsigned teams that have made their dents. Again, the one map from OR Esports, we're just going to keep mentioning that throughout the rest of the season. But if there's ever a way to really establish
I don't have a
yourself
win
in this
tweet
group,
prep.
it's with this sort of win.
Not that I wasn't expecting us to win.
You can take a look at the cell.
Exalt! Yo, Exalt, are you able to start stream? I need someone to host.
13-2, 13-5. That's
I
certainly
got run in
one
like
way,
20
Sully,
minutes.
to boost your round differential.
Exalt,
Really strong
that
performance
that
coming
little
in from
flick
Disguised.
on the
There's
backside.
certainly a
That
lot
was
of
nasty.
implications to this matchup, and I think round differential is a really big one. But going back to what Gut was saying is, what is this scale? Who's better? Because it's Disguise technically better than TSM. You could argue that.
Yo,
but the map
Exalt,
was completely
start the
different.
stream up.
This matchup not only gave Disguise a 1-1
You got
start
like
and
20
Mad
minutes.
Lions 0-2, it also set the stakes kind of for the rest of the
Ooh.
season. Because I'm looking at Disguise, I'm thinking, well, the only like top team they really have to play against now are
Damn.
in TSM. TSM
Okay,
got pushed to 3 maps.
that was big.
The
Mad
last
Lions was our
10,
biggest
13.
competition for 4th place.
DSG dismantled
OR
Mad
Esports is up
Lions,
there
and the way
too.
that they played in March,
Like, I know
you were
OR
as
Esports
well
is
concerned,
0-2
you were
and people
fully
think, oh, they
convinced
might
that
be bad,
M80
but no.
played
OR
to the
had
best of
to
their
play
ability.
against
I'm
M80
looking
and
at
Guard,
this guy saying,
which
hey,
is
they
an
could be
expected
king killers here
0-2.
in this group.
I mean,
What's really going to matter is their game against Mad Lions,
kill and lift the ground,
TSM,
that
and
becomes your
us.
responsibility. I am looking at Disguised.
I would
with
say,
maybe a different viewpoint this week. When I came
the
into
Guard
season,
and
I thought, okay,
M80
this team on
are
paper
kind of
could
like
be pretty good.
top
Give them time
tier,
and they'll probably bring things
and
together
then
across the season. So I didn't expect them to
TSM
start
are like
with
a tier
wins, but I
below,
expected them to finish
and
with them. I
then
did have them pegged as a playoff team.
their other 3.
But again, it was tough.
Really well
to get
played
to that point.
by DSG
Based
today.
on what we just saw, it's not just the result.
I
So
need to
don't
come
just
up
look at
with
the scoreline
a
and go,
tweet
oh, they're
now.
basing it off the result.
I was
It's
thinking
how
something
they
from
won
Lion
the
King.
rounds and what we saw
Maybe
them
when
doing
Mufasa
throughout those rounds
got
that
trampled.
made it so interesting. The way they were
Think
trading
that's a
off
good
of one
tweet?
another, the way they were communicating some of the clutch situations. It's not just individual play, it's team play. Team play was the highlight here for us. We can take a look at the group standings as well so you can see now how things are shaking up in their group because, again, I wouldn't say this was an
death.
upset, but it definitely changes the way that maybe some people saw this group going as Mad Lions has been dropped down to an 0-2 record, currently sitting at a -10 round differential. Disguise now sits in a pretty favorable position as they are now in the 4 seed spot, at least for the moment, but I could see this team easily trumping the other teams in the bracket, Gus, and taking the number 3.
Well, I mean, you just compare it with any other team that could be out their record at the end of the season, and they're going to have a higher round win. I mean, off of this.
See, Yeah, that made the round differential very important because we were in the negatives and Mad Lions, I think, were in the positive. But after today, we're in the positive now, and that's going to be really big in case of any ties. So like, it's really big because you only play 5 games, right? The odds of 2 teams having the same scoreline is actually huge. Like, there's a really, really, really good chance 2 teams have the same scoreline, and when that happens, it's going to come down to round differential. So that's actually a big one to keep your eye on. So it is important to win. Like, winning is the most important thing, but getting like big wins, hardcore wins, is huge as well. All right, guys, thank you all so much for coming out, tuning in. Of course, one of the perks of being on DSG is your boss will raid you if you're streaming. I believe Exalt's doing a watch party, M80 against TSM. This one's gonna be big. We want M80 to win. We want TSM to lose. Because if TSM beats it's also fine if TSM beats M80, because that means everyone will kind of have a more even score line. But we kind of want TSM to lose so that we have a small chance at taking the 3rd seed if like things work out perfectly for us. Yeah. Like, we want the winning team to win a lot. So we want the guard to in our perfect world, the guard is 5-0, right? We don't want a world where like it's too close. All right. But I'm gonna go get some rest. I have to shoot something with Team Liquid here. Big thank you to Team Liquid for providing us this lovely facility. We love Team Liquid here, and we support their Valorant team because their Valorant team is in Europe. Which means there's no conflict of interest there, or friends, until they start their NA team, in which case we're gonna have problems. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, please go and watch and support each of the players. I'm gonna raid Exalt today, but I'm hoping the next time. My ideal world is I host one of my player once, each of them once, because they are more important than me. Like, I think that's one of the tougher things about doing this esports venture, is that I never had such low influence over the outcome of something, right? Because I don't know how to play competitive Valorant. All I can do is go like, good luck, guys. So I'm really happy whenever they win. All right, I'm gonna raid Exalt. Say congratulations. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's actually going to be a 2-week break because there's Brazil going on for the next 2 weeks. So 2-week break, and then we're back on. Oh, God. And I'm going to go see the doctor today. Woo. Man, yeah. Figure out what to tweet. I did not prepare any tweet. Yeah, everyone played super well. Exalt, Gangsta, Ziff, Steel, Clear. Gangsta was on it in the first game. He was fragging out of his mind. There's a Steel interview? Wait, hang on.
that first match because honestly, you
He's
put up
wearing
good
his
numbers
shirt.
against a team that's likely going to do a very good job in the group stages. So what did you like that you guys did, and how did you build on that to prepare for this week?
You can watch it on Exalt stream, right?
I mean, we were at the beginning of the guard game.
Yeah, that's
obviously
a
losing
DSG
Tesla, going
shirt
down
right
0-2
there.
and then crawling back those when we were 6-2 up. That was us kind of like playing our game, which was like our game plan, like how we practice all this stuff. We were playing with energy and enthusiasm. But then slowly things started happening where people were like mentally taken out of the game. And then we started straying from our game plan. We weren't like, you know, hitting our stride. We weren't making sure that we were doing stuff together. We weren't like following the same plan.